Hello, everyone, and welcome back to the RR Podcast. This is episode 18, I believe. And we have a very special episode today. It is the 2018 RR Awards. Yay! As you can hear by the 2 extra claps, we're running low on regulars again. Max is no longer with us. He's going to pop in every now and then, but as of right now, he is no longer with us. However, we will have a new regular next episode. And the episode format is going to be a bit different. As opposed to having RRs come on, we're going to have 1 or 2 guests that have maybe never been on or maybe have been on before, just to talk about different RR stuff. Not going to have set topics, just things to talk about, basically. So I'm here with Dom Kazmic.
Howdy doodly.
And Jamie.
Hey team.
How many?
This is my first official episode.
Is it?
It's 6 months after being added. Let me check.
Oh, wow, that's awkward. So how many categories do we have? Like 11, I think.
Yes,
yeah.
11.
Okay. Before we get into announcing the awards, I do want to do a quick shout out to some of the artists and intro makers that we didn't really make awards for. We didn't want to have so many awards like we did last time. Didn't want to oversaturate it. Just want to have a quick award show. So I'm gonna shout out render makers, Xlux, Tiago, Hey I'm Hungry, Let the J Play. For intro makers, I don't even remember. Sonic Lux again. He's made a few good ones.
Cole Bacon.
Cole Bacon, of course. Why can I not remember?
PhenomCloud.
Phenom, yes. Phenom did recently make that amazing cinema intro. However, that's going to be in the 2019 voting, assuming we do this again.
The podcast lasts that long.
Yeah. Who else made art this year? Oh, Julian. Julian made a lot of good art for Abstraction.
Cute Shark.
Yes. Again, 2019. But
it's just like
Danny.
Julian,
Danny for renders as well.
yes, Danny and Zev as always. So just some quick shout outs just because we didn't have awards for them and whatnot.
Also, if we didn't shout you out and you do fall in that category, it's not us throwing shade, it's just us forgetting in the moment.
Yeah, I honestly just can't remember. Evan with the ends made some good art this year as well.
Oh yeah, definitely. Throughout the clips of this episode, we'll be using footage from the top 100 episode as kind of like filler material between awards.
Yay!
Because of my laziness, top 100 episode never got released, so I'll be using the footage we got from it and the discussion we got from it because it was good talk as little intermediate bits between this episode. So rather than just hearing awards all the time, we'll hear some fun info people thought about the top 100 intros because it was a lot of good discussion, and I don't want that to be just thrown to the wayside.
Okay, so the categories. I guess you're gonna start with the categories, Tom.
Yeah. We're starting with best RR Gamemode. We're gonna be incrementing the awards. So we get to the real big juicy ones at the end of the podcast. So we're gonna start off with the best RR Gamemode, for which the nominations were Abstraction Season 2 with the combination of Mumble and Alone Together. And then we have At War Season 6 with the Trojan Horse Gamemode. And then finally we have Phobia Season 13 with the Barophobia, the Upside Down World. And with that...
should we talk a bit about them before we...
Yeah, we can do that, yeah.
So do you want to talk about each game mode before we...
Yeah. Admittedly, I will say I'm not 100% familiar with the Trojan Horse one.
I believe... I can look at it now. I'll go
It was
pull
a
it
twist
up.
on moles.
Will you guys talk about the Phobia game mode? I'll look it up.
Okay, so the Phobia game mode is something that's been in work for
God knows how long.
It was in the works for about 2 years before we actually managed to get a season with it. It was originally going to be used for season 7, but it just couldn't be they just couldn't find a way to balance it and make it sort of not boring to watch. I feel like, obviously, I feel like it was like not the best used in terms of commentary, but I think it is one of the best game modes that we've ever done.
Yeah,
It was
I'd agree with that.
definitely interesting to watch. Like 5 people die in episode 1.
Yeah.
And when I talked to people who played it afterwards, they said it was fun just to mess around in. So I have found the RR Gamemode. It's infiltration and Trojan Horses, and Trojan Horses is a game mode where mules with chests spawn naturally as gifts from God. However, they may not really be gifts. When you right-click on them, they'll either give you something good or something bad, and there's a whole list of gifts. And then infiltration was a player on each team is switched off their team and switch onto another team in secret.
Okay,
so they played the game as a mole.
So it's not. It's like it's moles, but there isn't a moles team.
Yeah. So I would assume. Yeah. So that's pretty interesting.
Yeah, I think for the fact they were going for the Trojan War, I think that was a lot of good selections of game modes.
And then Abstraction Season 2. I didn't play this season. I played the first attempt of this.
I did play this, and it was actually really fun to kind of deal with all that.
Yeah.
It was a lot of having to work with your teammate to try and make sure you guys were always together, and it was a good time.
The third season, I mean, I enjoyed it, but it wasn't my favorite game mode I've ever had a part of. Maybe just because I'm one of the few who's not a huge Mumble guy, really. Maybe that's why.
Yeah, that's fair enough.
All right, Jamie, would you like to announce the winner?
Okay, so the winner, perhaps somewhat unsurprisingly for best game mode, was Phobia Season 13, Barophobia. So thank you all very much for voting for.
Congratulations, Phobia!
Quick speech. Thanks to Sid Garcia for doing the bulk of the work on that one.
Absolutely.
He generated so many worlds for us. He tinkered with so many things. He fixed things that I broke so many times. He's just an absolute saint for managing to get that all sorted. Yeah, thanks, Sid.
Yeah, and I'm sure Dom will edit in some kind of applause or something, or like the sound where the confetti falls from the ceiling.
I'm just gonna add all of it.
Yeah,
all of the noises.
Yeah, seizure warning on this episode. Okay, so for our next category. Hey, Dom, I have a question for you.
Hello.
Are you furious with how little guests we have now and how we basically milked every single round on this subreddit for this podcast?
Honestly, I can't sleep at night thinking about what we've done to this podcast.
I know, neither can I. But I have an idea, Dom. Do you want to hear my idea?
Sure, I guess.
What if we, me and you, and everyone else, pick 2 members just to, be like a little special guest on the podcast?
That sounds reasonable.
Thanks, Dom. If you want to be a special guest on the podcast, message me at LegoB6 or Dom at Kazmic_ on Twitter, or find us on Discord in the RR Discord made by Owen Odog. Dom, I can't wait to see who messages us. I've already gotten a few messages, haven't you?
I also have had a few messages.
Want to name one that you've gotten?
No.
Neither do I. All right. We will now start the podcast. What's up, guys? We're back with another podcast. We don't have a special round with us this week, but it is the Top 100 Intros Podcast Spectacular. I'm Lego Beast, your host, and of course I'm joined by my good friend, Kazmic.
Hey, it's me.
I'm joined by my other good friend, Maximum50.
Hey.
And unfortunately, Jamie could not make it today. Joey's having some TS issues, so he might be joining soon. Only we had another regular with us. Wouldn't you say that, Dom?
Yeah, if only there was a member of the podcast who officially left, who decided to show up this episode.
If only there was an official member of the podcast who was super into soccer, so left everything, unfollowed a bunch of people on Twitter, made a big Discord message that got memed on for like 3 weeks. If only.
So hey, Grant.
You know, I was gonna say yes, we have O-Dog. O-Dog's back, guys. He's back.
I'm not bad.
O-Dog.
He's back for an episode. And then
we can still celebrate.
Joining us, we have 3 intro makers and a special boy.
I'll take special boy. That's a pretty good title.
Welcome to the podcast, Kirby MD.
Thank you.
We have Xlux. He's made 1 intro, and it's in the
I have not made 1 intro. I made one intro that got in the top 100.
All right. We have Mr. Sonic Fan returning from last year.
Two-timer. That's me.
And then...
Oh, don't sigh. You want me here, bitch.
It's Lenboy.
Yay!
And if it makes you feel better, I don't want you here.
You can tell that we organized this well because, like, 4 of our original planned guests are not here. So I think this is a really, really good episode that we're going to do tonight.
Shout out to Christina Applegate.
Oh my.
Can I edit my intro on top of yours? Because yours was like blank.
No.
Yours lasted about 2 seconds. Mine was good. The old one.
That's the problem, is that's why these things get so drawn out, because your intro lasts like 10 minutes.
No,
At least it's professional.
And this episode's going to be drawn out because you two are bickering.
Also,
This episode is sponsored by Crunchyroll.
like anime? I know I like anime.
What's anime?
Alright, so we're gonna start off... Okay, so for our next category, we have Best RR Perspective. Now, before we get into this category, Jamie and I, when we were organizing the top 5, we had 3 clear-cut nominees, and then we needed 2 more. So I think it'll be pretty... I'm not going to say which ones we just added out of nowhere, but might be able to tell. So our nominees are Rawkey from Back in Time Season 5, PhenomCloud from Winter Wonderland, floobel from Story Season 7, Lenboy from Evolution Season 15, and Jinko 42, Ambition Season 20. Any of these you guys want to talk about real quick?
Okay, so the ones I 100% remember watching, I definitely saw Phenom's Winter Wonderland, which was very entertaining and had a lot going on.
That was really entertaining because he got the Amazon card too. That was so funny. Also that team was really good to listen to as well. It was him, Sir, Sil, and Top, I believe, Fenswa.
Yeah.
So that's just an interesting dynamic as it is, and then he just went off as well. Like that was
as much as people have kind of shit on the season for it. It is undeniable that Jinko's perspective of Ambition was entertaining because he did.
That's also like, while the season wasn't good, like that's one of the craziest RR perspectives.
Yeah, it's one of the things that it always comes when you have a season. Even if you have a season which you say is bad, where someone just dominates, there's always at least that one perspective which would be really good to watch, which is the person who did extremely well. So it's it was a good perspective to watch and to see him do so well in that.
I'd like to touch on Rawkey in Bit 5 as well. Purely because that is both the best and worst RR perspective of 2018. I had such a good time watching it, but my god. that was Rawkey, Sil, Kid, and
Sir and Kid. Oh my god, I forgot about that.
Kind of a gross team.
A little inside bit here is I think Sir, Kid, and Sil didn't have a team like the day before of Bit, and they needed an extra teammates. They asked Len if they could just have Rawkey play, and we got that monstrosity.
What's crazy is that wasn't Rawkey nominated for Best Perspective last year as well?
I think he might have been I think it was an Evo one.
Yeah. Didn't he
Probably.
win last year?
He might have done.
I don't remember.
I'll get a quick fact check on that.
Also, Lenboy, Evolution Season 15. I was on that team, and his editing was very good that season.
All in all, it was very entertaining.
Yeah, I think it was me, him, Soul, and Costanza, and also he won.
I think
Interesting.
the only one of these nominations I can't really say I watched was Floobel's one.
What? Well,
I'm sorry.
Floobel was kind of an interesting ad because we just needed one more. We saw that Frigid put story nominations for every vote. But yes,
Right,
he teamed with Chalk that season, and that's always an interesting dynamic for those who did watch it.
That was a good time.
And Jamie, do you have a fact check on that?
I do. He was nominated, but did not win.
Oh, who won?
It was won by Frostbreath and Stranded.
Oh, that's right. That's right. That does make sense. All right.
The other nominee was Sid for Desire 7 that year. So.
All right. So the winner for Best RR Perspective of 2018 is PhenomCloud from Winter Wonderland. An excellent win, and he popped off. So, I mean, you can't ignore that.
Yeah, absolutely.
And he got the gift card.
Yes, and he got the fucking gift card.
I wouldn't be happy if he didn't get the gift card, to be quite frank.
Do you think this is a deserved win, guys?
Yeah, definitely. I'd say so.
I mean, the point is, as you said before, 3 of those perspectives were very deserved winners.
Yeah.
And
all right.
One of those 3 ended up winning. So.
Yeah, so I think we lucked out on that one.
Uh-huh.
All right. So congratulations, Phenom, on Best RR Perspective. All right. Dom, would you like to do the next category? Left out this time if you were on. We're talking about omissions and surprises. So if you have an intro that you were surprised with not on the list, let me hear it.
Can I bring up? I guess I'll take the lead on this one. The highest, just from a stats point of view, the highest intro from last year that didn't make the list this year was Stranded UHC, coming in at 27th last year and didn't make the list. And on top of that, the World Cup also didn't make it, and they got 29th. Those are 2 top 30 intros that didn't show up again. That was pretty big for me.
The shocker.
I mean, I think those might have been they were unique intros, but as far as I see, I didn't see either of them as substantially groundbreaking intros.
Yeah.
So they might have fallen into the forgettable category, so people didn't really consider that when they thought of the wow factor of intros they actually liked. But it is a little surprising to hear that they didn't even make the list this year.
I think that's the problem with one-times.
They came out around the same time as the list, though, didn't they?
Yeah.
So, a lot of intros do get boosted based on being released at convenient times. I think New Dawn 13 kind of fell into that bracket a little bit. It's good, don't get me wrong, but I don't think it would have got number 1 if it hadn't been released directly before.
Oh, absolutely.
The voting came out. So
it was a lot. It was a lot of very right place, right time for the New Dawn intro when it was released.
100%.
And on top of that, there were a total of 10 intros from the top 50 last year that didn't make it. And I will say most of them did end up in kind of that camp of, came out right before the top 100 intros did. But one that didn't, that's kind of been a staple, is Inseparable 2. That one did not make the list.
It's one of my favourite intros.
What a shame.
I didn't vote for it this year. I don't know why.
I'm weeping.
You're just weeping over there.
Wasn't the bit 1 on the intro in the list last year, and it didn't make it this year either?
Yes, it was.
Yeah. I'm crying.
There was a pretty big omission that I saw. There was a.
Alright, you're gonna start your bit now?
Is this
save it for later?
That I was pretty surprised about, yet pretty happy about. The people have spoken. The
here we go.
Understand.
Oh boy, here we
that
go.
Cynical 5 does not belong.
Whatever.
This is groundbreaking, people.
All I'm saying is I won't take it.
I was watching, and we got to 30, and I was I noticed. I was like, "What the fuck? I haven't been upset yet. What's going on?"
I'll level with you.
What?
There was a grand total of 1 person who voted for that intro.
Oh my God!
Name and shame. Name and shame.
Please drop the name, Kirby.
Do it. Name and shame.
That is against policy.
Is it? No, it's not. Do it.
I would have voted for it.
You don't understand here. One of the things the podcast stands for is bullying. It's the one thing that's been a constant for the whole podcast.
Well, in that case, of course, we got to give it to the boy UHC Montages, Mr. Kubaslav.
Really?
That's interesting. Okay.
Let me tell you, if I did vote, I would have voted for it, but just
I should have put that as my number 1.
Listen, I still. Sorry.
No, I was just gonna piss Aaron off by
I
putting it
just
as
think
number
it's
one.
so, okay. Not only did it not, but one person voted for
Listen,
it. That's hilarious.
I still will heavily argue that it's an incredible intro. It's pretty cool, and it's visually
Matt,
appealing.
So funny because the UHC community would disagree apparently.
Yeah, listen, I might not be in the majority on this one, but who says that I'm wrong for that?
You can look
Not
at it
you, I
this
hope.
way.
Lego does.
Kirby, how many people voted on the list this year? Like 46 or something, right?
So there were 46 valid votes this year that came through.
How many invalid votes? I know.
There were. Let me pull it up.
80.
I had a
80.
thing.
While he's finding
No,
that,
there wasn't that many.
you could look at it as opposed to like the hundreds of people that voted last year and did get it on the list. So.
Oh, here we go. There were a total of 74 votes. There were a total of 7 votes that were invalid for
One of them was
voting
mine. They didn't do
reasons,
the numbers.
but then so there were 7 votes that were invalid for that, but all of the other invalid votes were for other reasons that wouldn't have been accepted normally anyways.
Wait, so like almost half of the submissions got axed.
Yeah,
that's
and I can
quite
talk about that a little
significant.
bit later, and that didn't have to do with the voting process. That was some other back-end stuff I had to deal with.
Alright, fair enough. I'll hop on the omissions bandwagon. I'm pretty sure it was omitted. I don't remember it being on there. All Stars 1.
It was not
No, it's
So-
not, it's not there.
Now, it's not a great intro. Like, there's
Not
nothing
great.
about it that means it should be on the list, but I just more was thinking from the point of view of, like, I don't know, sentimental value.
Has a special place
It's always been really high up on the list. Like, no, it is like the All Stars 1 intro though. Like,
Yeah. No, I'm
and
not
for it to not
yeah.
even make the list.
I really can't fault you on that. The All Stars 1 intro is the All Stars 1 intro.
I'd say it's better than some of the
Can't
ones
say
that
you're
did
wrong.
make it.
Alright, I should stick to football. Fuck you.
This is why you left.
Good night, Odell.
For other omissions, I'm not surprised it was omitted, but for some reason I thought Ambition 18 was going to be on there. I don't know why. That's the one where they're walking down the stairs. I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that was one of the episodic intros.
Yes, that's why.
I think that was the only one that didn't make the list of the, I think, 4 that were submitted.
And that's why I'm surprised, because I was like, oh, if these episodic intros are going to make it, I'm surprised this one didn't. I mean, the renders are good for the most part, minus like some like
fingers.
certain fingers. Thank you.
Not gonna lie, 16, 17, and 18 all kind of blend together as one intro. In my
Yeah,
opinion.
it's like they're one experience, and they're all
Yeah.
just kind of the same.
Well,
Yeah.
I mean,
Like,
they're in
for a
chronological
minute-
order. Notice how Sneaks teams with me in one season. It doesn't show up ever again.
Like,
Yeah,
for a
you
minute,
should,
for a minute when you said the Ambition 18 intro, I was like, are you talking about the fucking Assault and Battery one?
Oh,
God.
Yeah,
No,
no, that's what
no,
I thought
no.
it was at first. I'd completely forgotten it was like the reinforcements one until somebody like had to explain it in great detail to me like literally 2 days ago, and I remembered what it was. Oh my god.
You like? All right. For surprises, that I was surprised. I'm surprised that Mazette was finally as high enough as it deserves.
Holly freaking Luya.
Dude,
Bump
Mazette,
flower.
and then right after the Smash Direct came out, and it was the same song. The Smash Direct knew.
Can you imagine if
Totally was, yeah.
Can you imagine if Smoove McGroove did the official like Smash reveal trailer thing?
Sakurai
Could you imagine if
predicted
the
it top
organizer of
100.
Mazette was sitting next to Sakurai and guys, alright guys, here you go.
The Mazette intro creator now makes all of the Smash trailers.
Dom, would you like to do the next
All right.
category?
The next category we have is Best RR Fight. So any kind of fight between two players, maybe some teams, just any kind of fight of that sorts. Nominations we have Glyph versus Reisetal in At War Season 7. We have Flouze versus Raven in WMC 24. We have Smoove versus Cold in Distantia Season 5. Tux and Glen versus Bliv and Benny in Grudge Match 4. And finally, Len versus Cold in Evo Season 15.
So, I have one thing to say about this list.
Okay.
I think the wrong Grudge Match 4 fight is on this list.
Who would you pick instead?
I would have put Jinko and Cappy versus Glen, and I believe Sed, was it?
You mean Glen and Tux?
What?
Glen was with Tux Tank. That's
No. I said. Oh, I meant Gwepin.
Oh yeah, Gwepin said.
My bad. I thought that fight was. But I mean, even though Jinko and Cappy kind of like dominated it, it's like those I think were like the two power team, like the top teams in the game at the time when they fought. So
that's fair.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, it was still a good fight. And then I didn't watch Glyph versus Reisetal. I can't say I did. I don't know if you did. You watched it?
Yeah.
Who won that fight?
It was Glyph, I believe.
Okay.
If I remember rightly.
Yeah, well, again, that's not the one I remember watching, but at least I'll say about the sons of people in it, it does sound like a fight that could be good and tight. So, I will say until I saw people like talking about it in the RR Discord, I completely forgot about Smoove versus Cold, and I was like, oh yeah, that was really good.
Yeah, that was one of the.
I completely forgot about that existing until people started bringing it up, and I was like, oh yeah, that was a really, really good fight.
And then Flouze versus Raven. Okay, I saw it for the first time 2 days ago. Jesus Christ, this lasted forever.
It was a long ass fight.
I think that's why I got nominated so much. Is because
also it was a very it was a very underdog win for Raven, because I mean obviously Raven is people would say Raven is better than Flouze, but it's like he went from such a disadvantage to winning the fight.
Yeah. What else? Oh, and then Cold. I don't remember that one that much. I was on his team for that.
Well, I mean, just two incredibly strong players.
Yeah.
So obviously, good fight's gonna come out of that.
All right. With that, Dom, would you like to announce the winner?
Okay, so that being said, the winner for best RR fight for 2018 goes to Flouze versus Raven in WMC 24.
Excellent job. Also, fun fact, that was the Mop's debut season.
It was the Mop's debut season. And his only season. WMC is yet to make another season.
That is correct. I cannot say you're wrong.
I don't know when this is being released, but the current contest is still going on right now.
Yeah. I assume when our next episode we'll talk about the contest.
Yeah, when we record the next episode in like June or something, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, so when this comes out, when we're planning the next RR awards. All right, so congrats to Flouze and Raven. All right, next category.
As for another omission I was surprised by was WMC 14, the one that Winther made. I thought that's a good intro.
That one didn't even get submitted this year.
Yeah, I realized even that when I was going through the list, and I was like, people really didn't even think of that?
Even just like production-wise, it's a very well-made intro. Like, it looks very clean and fresh.
I remember in the first top 100, it was like number 90.
It was like 92 or something, and I was like, that is way too low for that intro.
Yeah.
I think the problem with the WMC 14 intro is just, it's kind of forgettable, honestly.
It doesn't really stand out in a crowd of other
ones.
ones.
The problem with it is there are just other intros that stand out.
That too, it came right after 13.
It stands out among other WMC intros.
Yeah, but when you have like WMC 13, like one of the best early intros of WMC, like having one directly after that kind of just doesn't overshadow it.
Personally, I like WMC 14 better, I'm not gonna lie. I still like WMC 13 a lot, but I think WMC 14 does more, pretty much.
I just thought of one that's missing that I'm surprised at.
What?
The Mole's season of AP, is that 7?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm okay with that not being in it purely because the song carries that intro.
Yeah, you're right, it does.
Yeah.
I mean, there are a lot of intros that are carried by songs.
I know, but I could talk about those ones too, but we're talking about AP 7.
Oh my god! For season 5.
Ouch. Yeah. Yeah, I don't know.
I'm looking.
I wasn't too surprised to see it not make it.
I still have my 2 lists of all the ones I liked, and then the ones I actually voted on. I'm trying to see ones that didn't make it in. Someone else talk.
See, I had the perk of I made my lists, I submitted my votes, and then the 5 that I voted for that didn't make it, I just put as honorable mentions, so they got in the video anyway. Cheating the system.
Ha. The
I
advantage.
wanted to arrest you.
Yeah, that's fair. I'll take that.
I understand why they weren't on the list, but I was kind of upset to see stuff like the Phobia 12 intro not even get. I think it would have been good enough, but unfortunately, Crimson didn't want his intros in the list.
What was Phobia
I guess.
12? What
Or is
happened
that
in that?
personal?
That was a personal request. Pretty much, like the second I put the thing up, that he just asked to take his intros out. He just said like he didn't need that pressure and kind of, I guess, mental stress or
Of them being rated or something?
and so I said very fair, and I took him out the list immediately.
I think it's unfortunate because I kind of think with maybe some recency bias in place, but I still I think the Phobia 12 intro probably was good enough to definitely be on there, and probably a moderate position. I think it was certainly good enough to appear, but
it was okay.
Unfortunately, it was pulled out.
One thing I'm noticing as far as omission goes, there are 2 things I have on my list. One of which was the Fission versus Evolution RR clash.
Oh yeah,
That was really good.
And then Brick's UHC Highlights Season 2 intro. There were no highlights intros on this list. Or like anything that wasn't really a recorded round. That was interesting.
I definitely think there was kind of a bias in these votes against things that aren't RR intros.
Yeah.
It's just kind of...
Like even the RR clash for Fission versus Evo, which I thought was a better intro than most like even regular round intros that come out these days.
That one was actually pretty close to making it, believe it or not. There were a bunch of other people who agreed with that.
Yeah, I wanted to see that one on there.
But maybe it's just me. I don't mind like the RR clashes, but I was never too fond of seeing like highlights reels in the thing because it feels to me like that's not really it shouldn't be in the same category as like a round intro to me. I totally get where like you can praise the editing or whatever, but it's like I think that last year's had coolists in there or something. I don't remember.
Made by Kraft, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Although I mean, you really have to look at it. It was like it was made as a top. It was first made as a top 10 intros and then a top 100 intros to the subreddit. It was never specifically about rounds, but I feel like
that's true.
When it comes to recorded rounds, there's like such a culture for only the intro that people mostly just kind of focus on that more so than like even seasons of rounds themselves nowadays. So people just kind of have a fetish for recorded round intros as opposed to like anything else.
I know I have a fetish.
Hey.
Amen, brother.
Yeah.
HH.
Listen to this guy.
Go load of him.
Yeah, I get that.
So, that's what I have to say about that.
Joe is also in the lobby if somebody wants to give him a move
moving
in.
on now.
Buddy was moved to your channel.
Hey Joe, welcome
The Sonic Joey.
Welcome.
I made it.
Joey, we were just in the middle of talking about intros that we were surprised weren't on the list in the top 100.
Oh, okay.
So if you have any that you can think of, feel free.
Oh, God, I have not prepared for this at all.
One of the Fission intros wasn't on, and I was surprised. 5, I think.
No, 5 got ranked.
5 was on it.
It was?
Yeah, 5 got ranked pretty high. It was 28th.
I was gonna say 5 is the best one.
It is.
3 placed like 17th or something.
It did place 28th. You are correct. I don't know
Fission
why I
3 got
thought it wasn't
17th.
I know a lot of
7
people were
Fission
surprised
3
about that.
Yeah, Daft
Fission 3
had
got
3
higher
of the
than I
Fission
thought it
ones
would.
go on.
It went up, didn't it?
It did. There were very few intros that went up. When there's more and more intros every year, you just kind of expect intros to fall down the list. But that was one of the intros that actually managed to go up the list.
There were a few that I think
Actually, now
like, there were a few that I just think weren't recommended.
Actually, now I'm looking at this.
Mine is up above, I think, was one.
That's such an iconic intro.
That
wasn't submitted.
Is that the one where
that just
they're,
wasn't submitted. Yeah.
I like saxophones.
Yeah, the saxophones is what.
I wasn't too surprised as far as when I was watching it to not see it on there, but personally, I did feel a little bit taken aback by the fact that Nuzlocke 2 was nowhere to be seen, when it's still personally my favorite of the Nuzlocke ones, because I think 5 and 6 placed quite highly, if I remember correctly, but 2 is nowhere to be found.
I feel like we were saying earlier about other intros, it's not anything impressive. It looks visually nice, like there's a lot of, aesthetic to it, but it's one of those ones that probably has succumbed to over time. Just seeing it more and more, you don't like it as much as with anything. So
It's level 2 as well wasn't wasn't on the list either, I don't think, which was always placed pretty high in previous years.
Yeah, now looking back on it, I noticed that Fission 2 is on the list.
I don't remember Fission 2's intro.
That was
the Desire
with
6
the same
intro?
Desire music, yeah.
Whoa!
Well, hey, it used it
Desire
more,
6
so...
Fission 2's music.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's not get it twisted here.
That was, I think, like, Daft's second or third intro. And
it was a second.
Yeah, and it's extremely good for, like...
I gotta shout out to my boy Daft, because I find his intros to be some of my favorite, like, always. They just have a great vibe, you know?
He's like a top 5 for me. Yeah, he's delivered on nearly every intro.
Especially when most of his intros are Fission intros, he's going to be a lot more motivated to do those, because that's his round.
Yeah,
also,
that's true.
Desire 2 and Desire 3, also not on the list.
Oh, really? I didn't even catch that.
I never liked Desire 2 as an intro.
I didn't like Desire 2 as an intro. Desire 3
if there were more squares on the screen, it would have looked better. But if it was like, you know how like there, you know how there's like
less squares the better.
If only there were more squares.
No, I'm saying like, okay, I
require more squares.
If they, no, I'm saying like, you know how it's like everything's like too big, so it'll just kind of meshes together, and you can't really make out what's on the screen. I'm saying like, if it was a little more like high quality, I guess is what I'm saying.
The intro was just too big.
I don't know what I'm trying to say, but
I get what you're saying.
It was hard to see what was happening, so I feel if that was done a little better.
I remember the first time I ever watched that intro. I didn't even realize that the renders were there.
I don't know.
One of the big things with intros for me, at least personally, and I guess kind of what feeds into the Desire 2 thing is, you know, I will watch an intro, and if I really like the style, that's one thing. But if it doesn't do its job as an intro, then I'm not going to vote for it because it didn't do its job. Like, I'll talk about Addiction 7, which did make the list. It's one of my favorite music visual intros, but I can't read the names, so it doesn't work as an intro for me, if that makes sense. And Desire 2 kind of fell into that.
All right, next category is Most Surprising Newcomer, in which the nominees are Cyonal from Phobia Season 12, myself, Lego Beast from Evolution Season 14, Extremois, Conjure Season 2, Buki, Ambition Season 21, and Lenboy, Kata 11.
I know, Lego, I know you have
what
certain feelings about.
Yeah, there's one on here I still don't know counts as a newcomer. I say Len and Kata 11. Kata 11 was the final season, so I don't know if he counted as a newcomer or more of a guest.
That's fair. Likewise, Cyonal and Phobia. Like, obviously he's a left field addition, but he was still second place in the contest.
Mm-hmm.
So like,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, he finished second in the contest.
Yeah.
To Skylord, right?
Yeah, to Skylord. Yeah, I'm glad both of them in the round now. They're both actually really active and really good influences in the round.
Also, yeah. Also, I don't personally. I don't really understand Hooky in Ambition. Like, I get it's a little bit odd, but I don't know if it's like.
I mean, okay. I mean, to people who don't know, of course, like the only reason he really played is because he had hosted for us, I think, 3 times in a row at that point.
Right.
And we needed a player. I mean, good addition. He definitely nerfed Jinko a bit. So.
That's all you need is people to nerf Jinko.
Well, while we're saying not surprising enough, Lego Beast and Evolution, right?
People just don't know the history. That's the problem. That was the main problem.
I think the case with Len's Kata one, that was definitely a bit more public knowledge of what happened there. Yeah. But you and Evo is a lot more of a, I think less people know
private matter.
Yeah.
But to those who know about it, like, whoa, what the hell? So yeah. And then Extremois and Culture,
which I saw coming because of a certain person in this channel.
Jamie?
It's you, Lego. I've never been in Conjure.
Wait a minute. What did I do?
I've never been in Conjure. How could it be?
So you think I wasn't in Conjure for season 2. You think I know?
Anyway,
Tom, why are you throwing this on me?
So anyway, yeah, I heard about that in advance, and I was like, what the fuck? It's a.
Has he never played one before? Is that why?
He hasn't. No.
Yeah,
It's his debut.
Yeah, it was his first RR.
Okay. Okay.
It's definitely an odd out there pick.
So, the winner for most surprising newcomer in 2018 is Extremois, Conjure Season 2.
Yeah.
Yeah.
If you think of surprising newcomer, he is probably the thing that pops into your head.
Yeah.
I think.
Yeah, I will say one thing about some of the odd category when it comes to like defining what newcomer is. I felt after the voting closed, I saw a lot of people throwing around the name of Summer in TDC, but it's a case of a very weird kind of, does that really count as a newcomer if it's the first season?
And we decided no.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think if we decided yes, he would have replaced me on the list.
Almost certainly.
Yeah, I feel like he definitely would be a nominee, but it's like very weird when it comes to first season.
Yeah.
It's like it's defined in the roster, so it's a bit.
Also, keep in mind Remy won for a season 2, and then everything else was season 10 and up.
True.
So I think once you get to like older seasons or whatever, things stop becoming surprising because everyone needs newcomers. So.
Mm-hmm.
All right. Well, congratulations, Remy, on a deserved win. Whatever happened to that intro podcast?
Anyways, pump the flower.
Anyway, we're back. We're still talking about intros that were not on the list, but then we're going to move on to intros that we were surprised made the list. So, Lux, I believe you were saying something.
Yeah, so I was very shocked that Evo 14 wasn't on the list.
Moving on.
The intro was met with universal eh.
Here's the thing. Here's the thing for me is like, when I watch an intro, just as an intro maker myself, and like someone who's literally going to major in this kind of shit in college, in editing.
What college is that?
We're going to O-Dog-U.
O-Dog!
But whenever I watch an intro, I critique it on like an editing standpoint level too. And so, in the case of Evo 14, like it's a good intro and all, but the editing itself seems very like quick. You know, like it's very. It's not like flowing. It's not smooth. It just seems like it kind of happens, and it kind of like.
It's a very fast-paced intro.
It's not even the fact that it's fast-paced. It's just that like the bumps themselves and the text coming in. It's all very like quick, like straight movements. It's like a little off-putting to my eyes, at least in a little bit. But that's like me critiquing it on like a way technical level. But
it's flashy and not in a good way.
Yeah. The one thing I had an issue with it. Sorry for interrupting you, Len. Is that the logo just kept bumping up and down or forward like for a good like 10 seconds to the beat. And
when he was making that, I told him it should more instead start with the logo like fully shown and that kind of stuff, and then when it goes rhythm bomb, it like fades out, but he did it like backwards, and that was also a little weird.
It's cold bacon. You did it backwards, you silly goose.
Backwards bacon. No cab.
Bacon? Did somebody mention Bacon Craftia? Because I was sad those didn't make the list.
I was also very sad that the last one especially didn't make the list.
That is my personal sadness, and I understand that the intros are like not top 100 caliber, but when you've worked on intros over the course of like 2.5 years and made 0 of the top 100 lists, it kind of starts hurting, and it makes me sad.
Shout out to Jacob.
That's the only reason that Kirby made the fucking list, so he could
boost himself.
Had to slide that in the honorable mentions.
I will say this, as always, very sad Hilton Quiver 9.
Seriously, that's like one of Jake's best ever.
I mean, let's be real, guys. Where was Cynical 5?
You missed this. I literally, I have like a bunch of stuff typed out about it. Oh my god, I was so happy.
It was awful.
Whatever.
You see, this is what I get for being late to the podcast. I missed
Didn't you
everything.
start it off with like, "This is a victory for the subreddit" or something?
Yes, that's exactly how we.
Can you just like edit in my comment like right before like I started talking about it to make it seem like I was there? Just
yeah, exactly.
Oh yeah, just edit in Joey saying, "All right." Ooh.
Oh yeah.
Can it be
like, can we get some clips? Can we get some clips of you going like, oh okay.
Oh okay.
Like the worst
okay.
intervals too.
Okay. I see your point, Lego, but I think Cynical 5 was the best intro of all time.
Someone just goes, I broke my ankle. You just have Joey going, okay.
Going back to the Hilden Quiver Season 9 intro, I feel like it is one of those intros that gets carried by the song, because there's not much to it.
I feel like
it's simplicity isn't always a bad thing.
It's
right?
not even the fact that it's simple. It's the aesthetic it creates. Like it's
like
the gloomy,
dark,
like the red background. That's something you really have to consider with a lot of these.
I'm a big fan of intros that do like the kind of like gloomy, mysterious style. So
and they
I'm
do
a big
it
fan of
well,
it.
and Jake did it well.
Yeah, I don't know. I'm not somebody who's ever on board for like the whole thing of like, oh, but it wasn't over the top or like flashy, so it's not good. Like I think to me that intro had a very clear objective with what it wanted to show, and it did that perfectly for me as a viewer.
I agree.
Like I totally got what it was trying to get across.
The problem I have is like that thing had a mission. It was going for a certain style. It was trying to go with a certain tone, and it did that. And the thing when I complain about simplicity is a lot of intros who don't even attempt to do that. It's okay, 10 FPS flying around a Minecraft background.
ATL3.
Renders, here they are, and then here's forearms.
Unknown 3 anyway.
Yeah.
Here's forearms. My favorite alien is Upgrade.
So I feel like Max, when you say like, oh, simplicity isn't always a bad thing, you're right, but it has to also accomplish another thing at the same time.
Yeah, it has to have an objective. It's just
the same goes for flashy intros. Like we literally 10 minutes before this, we were in another channel watching like those animated like Pearl combo 3D flying videos,
and it's like this is what we should be talking about instead.
And it's like they're flashy. I can appreciate the animation and them looking good, but it's not a good intro.
Yeah,
because you're just going way too hard there. It's like you don't even know what's going on.
Like if you had those kind of people make UHC intros.
Oh God!
Those people.
This community wouldn't be as dead.
Done.
Well, didn't they made like wasn't one of the United intros like made by an animator like that?
There's definitely notable
I think Learning made like 2 of them.
There's definitely like notable
United intros.
There's definitely some notable like streamed kind of like those streamed events that kind of there's some YouTuber stream event stuff which have intros which are edited a lot like those with just heavy pulsing screens shaking all over the place. You can't read anything.
Yeah. There was actually, I think,
really
a couple of the United intros I really liked, and was actually a little sad that it made the list because, like, as I was like filling out a couple of like my top few, there was actually a few United ones. Like,
if there was one round I was not expecting to see representation in the top 100, it was Block Chaos.
Yeah, that was weird. That shocked me when I saw that up there. Was it even on the list last year?
Yeah.
The captain's dropped 28 places though. To 99th this year.
Damn.
Oh, actually, do we have a statistic for? Because I'm just curious what the highest drop was from something that's
sure it was Nuzlocke 4.
The highest drop was Nuzlocke 4 with a 70 place drop.
Oh my god!
Being 100% honest,
where it belongs.
I was gonna say I don't like the Nuzlocke 4 intro.
Neither do I.
I like the Nuzlocke 4 intro.
You're saying that Classification 3 is better than Nuzlocke 4?
No.
I had
according to this list, it is.
I had severe problems. I tried severe problems with that being very hard, but we're on the list.
Mm-hmm. What class 3?
Yeah.
Everyone did.
I completely get the idea behind it. Like the idea was quite good. It's just it wasn't pulled off very well.
Yeah.
There is no cohesion in it.
Before we continue with Classification 3, this is a good way to move on to intros that we were surprised made the list. And Classification 3 in general, I don't care how low it is, it's on that list.
Yeah.
And that's,
that's a crime.
I mean, this is kind of going into the topic of the promotion, but the Navigation Twitter literally put out, here's the numbers for the intros that we made.
The classification.
It's like
Twitter. Lenboy.
It's like one of those things. Like if you want to vote for your favorite person to win this contest, vote for us right now or something.
Yeah. Like the Nickelodeon Choice Awards.
What?
This is the Big Brother house. If you want to save the
if you want to save the classification 3
navigation
intro,
season 1 intro, dial
Bluggy stands up.
Dial 701.
Who did you murder?
Okay, another intro, I will say another intro that I personally felt like probably shouldn't have been there was the Conjure 1 intro.
Yeah, I'm with that one.
It was very new.
Yeah, don't get me wrong. It was very well made. It was very well made.
I was gonna say it's kind of like the what we were talking about with like the flashy animations, where it's like you could tell Jake put a lot of effort into it, but
absolutely.
I've never liked it that much.
It just didn't land.
Like, I remember,
like a plane.
Jake was asking a lot of us, like, "Oh, what do you think I could do to make this better?" And everyone's like, "Make it not that shaky." And there's one part where like Carter just flies off the screen, like he's on there for like a good 3
like
frames,
if the intro had just been like it zips really quick over to a team and then it kind of just like stays in that team for a little bit, not exactly still obviously, but still kind of remained semi-still and then zipped over to another one, it would have been pretty good. But it kept moving and it kept shaking all the time. It was very hard to read.
There were a few intros from 80 to 100 that I was surprised were that low, including Frenzy 9, Cynical 7, Apex. Ambition 15 is understandable why it's kind of that low because of no renders, but it's still pretty good. And Grudge Match 1, all in the bottom 20.
Yeah, Grudge 1 really surprised me.
Yeah, Grudge 1 I remember Grudge 1 being really high up on my list. I remember I put it decently high on mine. So I was really surprised
it was one of the few intros at the time that really stepped away from like general electronic and EDM music and really focused on like that kind of. I don't know. That's what stood out to me the most about it.
Yeah.
There was one intro I was very surprised even made top 100, and that being Unknown 3.
Yeah. I was a little surprised by that too.
The flying through the background at like 10 opacity.
Flying through the sky. Hey, T-Pain, what's popping?
I was
oh
also
my
a little
god!
confused.
I was watching the top 100 with Twinkie, and Unknown 3 showed up, and my instant reaction was, "Who the fuck made this?" I saw it early. Because
you went like, "Can I see the intro?" And he fucking linked it to you on Twitter.
I watched it. And then
he immediately followed it up with, "Wait, how do I delete a tweet?"
I will say to Unknown 3's credit, I was watching it with Dibscraft, and he said that was one of the only intros on the list he liked.
Wow, Dibs liked it. That means it's pretty cool, guys.
There you
Keep in mind.
There you go.
I won.
So when you think about
this
it,
is the best intro maker ever.
when you guys think about it, Unknown 3 was technically number 1. Dibscraft liked it, so
yeah. So I mean,
he's got the ruling opinion here, so you know.
What's it called?
Yeah.
I was surprised Vanguard 4 didn't make the list. I know we already missed omissions, but I'm also kind of surprised.
Oh yeah, that was
really good.
That was such a feel-good intro. I really liked that one.
Also surprised that Phobia 3 is in the bottom 10.
Yeah. That had a big drop.
That's a true fall from grace right there, fellas.
Amen.
TDC 1 was number 42, which is pretty surprising. I thought it was going to be lower.
I had issues with that intro when I was trying to render the whole thing. That would make me re-render the whole thing again. Thanks, Sonic.
Yeah, I'm happy to have TDC on there, but I was like,
I'm not.
42. It's like I didn't feel like. I mean, yeah, I enjoyed the intro a lot, but I don't think it's 42 of all time.
I liked it.
I think the one issue I had with the intro is it just fell out of sync with the music at one point. Or like
that's
just
the problem
barely,
with rock
but it
music.
does.
I just want to point out, poor Sonic. We're talking about surprises. He's right here. We've just trashed on 2 of his intros.
Like Unknown 3.
I mean, to be fair to Sonic, he has 11 intros on the list. There's some that are really, really good, and some that are like,
I
I
literally call myself the most mediocre intro maker on the subreddit.
Bad.
Yeah, if we want to talk
Garbage.
about Sonic
Like,
intros, we
they're
can also
like-
mention he got 21st place with Recovery 4, which is awesome, so...
Yeah, Recovery 4, if I sit down and I'm like, yeah, this intro is going to be good, then I can usually make it,
Then start doing that!
But that requires effort!
I was very surprised to see Recovery 4 be your highest scoring one, because going into that I would not have guessed that. Not to say
What
that
would you
it's
have guessed,
too
man?
bad, but like, I'm not saying this isn't me guessing the majority, but like one of my favorite intros from Sonic is probably still Frenzy 9, and see that get so low is kind of like.
Where was Split 8, if you can jog my memory?
Oh, Split 8 was really good too. I think that was in the middle, wasn't it?
I have a lot of issues with Split 8. I'm
Split 8
sorry,
was
guys.
I have a lot of
Yeah.
issues with you, lad.
Yeah, one's issue with Split 8 is that Frigid just comes flashing into the screen.
That is not my issue with Split 8.
I was gonna say I was requested by Cute to do that, so don't go after me for that one. Go after Cute.
That's Lego speaking for me. That's not me.
Yeah, if you want to keep speaking for Len. I'm Lenboy. I think
it.
Remarkable 2 should have been 100. You guys hear what Len just said?
What do you guys think about this one? Also, like you can tell, like the ones that the intros I put a lot of effort into are the ones that usually score higher, like Recovery 4, Kata 11.
Kata 11 scored high? What?
Kata 11 is cursed.
Wait, that did a good score?
That got 52nd, yeah.
That's
what?
Oh god, Max.
Is this gonna be the equivalent to Sonic 05?
Okay, we'll carry on.
What, Max? Oh wait, no, wait,
no.
What do you have to say,
We're not
Max?
done with this one.
I don't. Yeah. I'm not
Are
in
you
the majority
upset
on
that
this one.
It sounds like he's having a stroke. Maybe we
Are
should
you
just leave
upset
him
that
alone.
Sonic replicated Ambition 17 with me and Bobby?
Len gives such great advice. The best way to deal with someone having a stroke is to just leave them be. just let them stroke out.
Seizure just like in the middle of like the mall. He's like, no, just leave him alone.
He'll sleep it off.
Let him be.
So,
Just down some Calpol, he'll be good.
we're gonna move on from omissions and surprises. Let's get this thing moving. Okay, James.
It does also help,
now
it does also
you-
help that Grant's not here.
Now you're running out of filler material. I'll get onto the category of best RR kill. So the nominees for best RR kill are X-Lux was shot by Winterwaffle in Conjure 2. Borax was shot by OG Ash from Abstraction 2. Brosif was slain by Country Cutie. That's simplistic 2. Lucity was slain by Podsy in Alphabet Soup. And Lego Beast was shot by Gimpic using Fuck You Lego from Agency 8, was it Lego?
Yes,
Okay.
it was.
Agency 8.
So, I think there's a clear top 2 here.
Okay.
In my mind. When we were making the list, and when it came to nominations, there were a lot, actually, no, my bad, there were 3 that were suggested a bunch of times.
I think this was a more sort of broader category. I don't think it's just one of the smaller ones.
Yeah. But, I mean, 4X was shot by OG Ash. That's like... for those in the round, that's crazy.
Mm-hmm. It's like, yeah, OG Ash is obviously, without a doubt, one of the worst players in the round. Mostly because he's just not in the community whatsoever. He's just so out of it. So for him to somehow kill Foe in a fight is pretty mental.
That is true.
Also, I just want to have a quick flashback to Carter versus Lucity and how.
Yeah.
What was that exactly?
So Lucity's keyboard broke mid-fight, so she was basically disabled. Yet Carter double pearled on her.
Wait. Carter double pearled on her and she wasn't moving?
And her keyboard was just like broken, she couldn't move properly. But Carter still double pearled on her.
What was the point of the double pearl? She was immobile.
She wasn't immobile, but she had very little control over her movement.
Oh.
So she was just kind of wandering around in circles, basically.
Yeah, it was the most excessive kill of this year, no doubt.
So if we were doing most excessive kill 2018, Carter, you got it.
Yeah.
But we're not.
Also, Broza versus Country Cutie. Country's first RR kill, which happened because she was full iron and Broza was no armor.
Well, you gotta get it somehow.
Yeah. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes.
And then, I think this
Lego
is
shot by Dimpick.
I think this is my least proud moment of 2018, and I died first 4 times this year.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I mean, that's just iconic in my opinion. That's kind of like when Fairy killed Dibs with that sword, or whatever. This is because it's very hard to name a weapon after someone you want to kill and then kill that person.
Yeah.
So this is also the reaction from everyone in the game was hilarious. And if you haven't watched Aaron's perspective of it, DYM, he loses his mind afterwards. Have you seen it, Dom, or no?
I have not, no.
Oh my god. Alright. Jamie, would you like to announce the winner?
But did we touch on Xlux Winter Waffle? Or?
Oh, no, we did not. Good call. I don't remember that.
It was a one-tap on a good player by a weak player.
So, okay.
Again, another case of you gotta do what you gotta do.
Yeah.
But,
Winter really
so
wanted to be in the RR award, then.
The winner of Best RR Kill goes to Dimpick for shooting Lego Beast with Fuck You Lego.
I've never been so honored to win an award.
Dimpick won it, not you.
Yeah, but I'm part of the award. He's gonna share it with me. There's no way he won't.
You sure about that?
No. Congratulations, Aaron. Next one, Don. Moving up next is the numbering system. Kirby, thank God you're here. Why don't you tell us about this numbering system when my first application of rounds was denied by you?
Okay,
I didn't use numbers. I used words like a person.
Yes, and this is completely understandable. And this is obviously the number one complaint with the list. Besides Class 3, this is like the number one complaint.
Oh my God.
Class 3 is the
Called
number one complaint?
Besides that I did not accept votes from people who used the names of the intros,
from people who were
and they had to use the numbers for the anonymization.
You're just making them look bad. Like,
sorry, because I want to edit that out. Thanks.
No,
damn it.
It's staying.
Oh, I was gonna say y'all can discuss for a bit. I'll just sit here and take it.
I mean,
I
agree.
So,
I
have a thing to say.
Go for it. Fight me.
Why?
I kind of want to hear that first. Is why did you make it like that?
So here's why, and I think a lot of it does have to do with me personally having made intros that are from non-Reddit small rounds. Is they don't stand as big of a chance, and I'll stand by that. And because I think I still saw it a lot on this list, where the goal with that whole process was to put them all on the same playing field. And I realized that it was definitely not the most efficient way to go about it, but I figured that by at least doing, having all the numbers there and having you not just be able to look at the list, go, oh, I already like these intros and submit them, which, by the way, people admitted to doing to me, then that at least gave those intros a little bit more of a chance. Did it actually work? Mezet ended up in the top 30, so possibly most of the other rounds I did. I looked at the average points of rounds that had 5 or more intros submitted, and every single one of the rounds with less than 10 points was non-Reddit. Whether or not that's just from intro quality or because people don't know about them, that can be debated, but that was the goal behind it. So sorry I deleted your vote, Lego, but you needed to follow the rules, dang it.
No, it's okay. I just completely forgot what I wrote, so.
I think one thing I'll say about it is I think the numbering system was a good step towards making a system that kind of puts all of the intros on an equal playing field from the beginning, but then because of that you also sacrifice the pool of people who are willing to go through with that, and as a result while you do increase the accuracy of people's results because they consider all of the entries, you're also diluting the pool, so you're getting way less results.
And I would agree completely with that. Having only 46 votes, which wasn't even half of last year's, I do think there was a good amount of people that didn't because of that reason. And that also, because so little people voted, then let some intros get boosted a little bit and not have, fully accurate. In an ideal world, I would have ended up with over 100 votes. And that just didn't happen. I think a lot to do with the numbering system. But I'll also be honest, I think a lot of it just had to do with kind of just the state of the community in general, and people just not caring enough to do that. And like I said, I had people tell me, like, I already know what intros I'm going to vote for, so why don't you just let me do that? So while I could have accepted more votes, I don't feel those would have represented it as well.
Mm-hmm.
I think there's two things to go with that. Is that one, exposure really does matter. Like, during my last semester in high school, I did a research project on, like, essentially why
Shameless
things
plug,
are
guys.
more popular and that kind of stuff. And, like, while something of higher quality may be, higher quality, if it's not reached out there as much, then it's not going to get noticed. And so why I'm saying that is, like, let's say it's like 3 people give it 10 points. That's 30, and those are 3 people who all saw it and loved it. But if 10 people give something 5 points, then that's going to get 50 points, and therefore it's going to rank higher on a list like this. So when it comes to you saying, like, oh, non-Reddit rounds don't have as much of a chance, that's just kind of the way that it happens to fall, because it's not advertised on the platform that this contest essentially is being advertised on as well. And then when you put the number system in, more often than not, I think people were just like, this is too much work, I'm not going to do it, it's not worth it, I'll just watch the video when it comes out. So I think in the end, the numbering system just ended up straying away more people from voting, and therefore skewing the votes more than it would have if it was just voting for intros. Because, I did go through it, but I never really watched any new intros. If anything, it just reminded me that some intros I already knew about existed. So I don't necessarily think this was the best way to go about evening the playing field. I think if anything, there would have to be something to do with the voting, like, numbers system itself. But that's
and I did change that too.
There. Yeah, you did.
And I would like to know better ways to even the playing field, because like I said, that was the goal. I realized this was not the best system I could have come up with, but it was the only one I could come up with that would even the field as much as possible. I definitely agree that publicity fixes things a lot. I mean, we talked about New Dawn 13 last year coming up at number 1. That was because the publicity for it was so ridiculously large at the time that it got that boost. So if people have ideas, then, definitely, like, I'd love to see a better way to go about evening the playing field in general.
Well, you got me. I don't have a better idea. So
personally, I don't have a better idea. And so that's not me to say, like, oh, you shouldn't have done it that way. Like, I think you're awful for that or anything, but I'm just analyzing what did happen from the way I see it, and then just saying what I see.
And Kirby, didn't you also say that if a lot of people had issues with the voting system, you would change it?
Well, and so to counter that, if I imagine most of you saw, Jamie actually went through and made a playlist with all the intros in order. And the one thing I do regret that I probably shouldn't have done is in the RR Discord, I did give Bad Fan the permission to post.
Good job. You only got kicked out.
The list of intro name to intro number. I should not have done that, but I do think that helped get a few more votes in.
Yeah, with this kind of system, you really have to make a middle ground between between the anonymity system, but also making a system that people want to engage with. Because as much as the system did work, for what it was intended to do, it also didn't provide much for in the way of people wanting to actually do it.
Yeah, that's fair.
Especially with what AJ did last year was just, hey, put in like 30 intros in 3 different sections of top 10, and I'll do a point-based system and decide.
Well, so that's what this was too.
That also put a lot of stress on him. So I guess just doing the way you did it with the whole people not voting because it was too obnoxious to deal with, that probably like relieved some stress and made you get it out faster.
Yeah, so I really liked how AJ let people do 30 intros and split them up into the 3 top 10 lists. So I did end up doing that as well. And I think it was Len, maybe Lego, I don't remember. Someone mentioned the actual point system itself. I did also change that from the usual 10-to-1 thing, just because I think that's a horrible point system, and changed it to favor frequency of votes rather than a few first places. Because as we saw last year, Cough Release 2, it's very easy to manipulate the votes when you have a bunch
baby
of
blue. It's iconic.
Ending the podcast.
I feel bad for Evan. We've just constantly shat on the two most controversial intros of both lists.
Well,
and both made by him.
Well, Evan is a good intro maker, but there are some areas in which he lacks. Like, I know he tends to be very demotivated with intros at times.
Yeah.
Like,
He's a good intro maker, but the problem is people are putting a lot of emphasis on his weaker works.
Yeah. It's the negativity bias that runs throughout the entire universe.
I kept trying to talk about how sad I was that Class 2 wasn't on the list.
Yeah, Class 2 was really good, I thought.
Class 2 is so good. I love that intro.
It's probably his best intro.
It is.
Yeah,
his best intro.
the guy is very talented, especially even just with his art stuff. It's just he's also, you can't win them all. He's had a few clunkers.
Like, what he did with Tell the Tale was really good.
Well, and he got 98 with that, so that one did make the list.
It just made the list, but I think it could have been higher. But looking at the list too,
it's like people love to focus on the negatives more than the positives.
Oh, that's just human nature.
In life, yeah. So
Didn't,
it's like
Tell the Tale, like the trailer come out with like 3 different RRs in the same day.
There was
it was
that
very
one,
flooded.
the astrology one, I thought, and then wasn't there another intro like the day?
I think Instinct came out that day.
Sorry, is there a list of the top 100 that I can take a look at?
Alright, someone get in the paste bin.
Yeah, I got you, Joey.
Thank you very much. Oh, okay.
Everyone, all post your paste bin.
Thank you.
I mean, the list got done, so...
Yeah, and I do have to say, I think people overall with the whole list as a whole there were less complaints about the list itself this year than there have been years in the past, which I was happy about.
Yeah, that's very true.
Yeah.
All right. Anyone else have anything to say about this numbering system?
There certainly are numbers.
All right, and we're moving on. Okay.
Alright, next one we have is the best one-time RR. And the nominations include Freefall, Fallen Kingdom, Alphabet Soup, Perspective, and Winter Wonderland. Out of these, I remember watching Freefall, Fallen Kingdom, Winter Wonderland, and I think I watched a little bit of Alphabet Soup and Perspective.
So you watched all of them?
Basically, yeah, I watched.
Okay.
At least I have good memories of all of them.
I watched all of these as well. Fallen Kingdom's the one I remember the least, though.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that, actually, yeah.
It was alright. Like, it was an interesting watch. Like, there was nothing to really set it apart. And that can be described for a couple of these, to be fair. Like, Freefall was an interesting watch, but there's nothing really bumping it up to being like, oh, damn, that was cool. Like, you get it sometimes.
The final fight was pretty good.
What was the final fight in Freefall?
It was me versus Cole Bacon.
Did you win?
No.
Disappointing. I mean, yeah, best one-time RR. I mean, I just... Freefall also happened... It wasn't organized. One day, it just happened. And I didn't play because my KO wouldn't let me team with Jinko.
That's so sad.
Sad face. But yes, all these are very good. All these are very good. I would not be upset with any of these winning.
Alphabet Soup was very fun, mostly because it was just there's a lot of dumb moments in that. A lot of just ridiculous moments. Like, that was the double pearl from Carter on Lucity. Carter, like 3/4 diamond, losing to unenchanted Q kill.
What? I didn't even know about that.
Yeah.
Teresa got another RR kill.
He killed Miles, right?
Yeah.
Killed Miles.
Oh my god.
And Hooky getting 3 kills.
Yeah.
Wait, what?
Yeah, it was just really just.
Why do I not remember this?
So many dumb moments.
Can we just wonder? I'm looking at the death tracker now. Hooky killed Bradzi, Insert.jpg, and Brandon Undauntable.
Wow,
that's
he's a god.
Odd list.
That's not bad. And Potsy killed Lucity and Edvin.
Alright, I remember him killing Edvin. Jesus Christ.
Killed Edvin.
Fuck.
I can't believe only Shiro died to disconnect.
Alright. All good rounds.
Can I just go on to perspective a bit? Perspective is a bit of a weird one because I don't really know if it's a one-time or not. Because I think they said it.
When was it released?
It was released a while ago.
Mm-hmm.
But it was released in August, actually.
Yeah, it was released 5 months ago. So
I know it does say in the description it's a one-time recorded round.
Right, okay, there you go.
I wasn't sure if it was a one-time or if it was going to be like an actual thing, and then like when you were officially old enough, you'd get added to perspective.
Happy birthday!
Who's turned 24 since August? Ford is Ford 24 now.
I have no idea.
78 Ford.
I don't know. Micros is 24.
Micros is 24. Micros has been 24 for more than 5 months.
Micros has been 24 for a few years.
Micros was robbed.
We'll scoot past that one. So, the winner. Best one-time RR. Dom, this is you.
Oh yeah, it's me, yeah. So yeah, the winner of Best One-Time RR is... Winter Wonderland.
Yeah. I'd say it's fair. I liked the Amazon gift card thing, just because it was dumb.
Yeah.
And I think that with one-times, you either need to take yourself super seriously, like Stranded, or not seriously at all.
I think also the teams in this round were so interesting.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I would definitely agree with
that. Best new RR.
Mm-hmm. Is it me? Oh, it is me.
Yeah.
Oh, also before we go on, Winter Wonderland was the biggest winner of all the awards. There was a 30+% differential between Winter Wonderland and the second place finisher. And if any of you guys are curious where you might have finished or something else finished, just shoot one of us a DM and we'll send you a percent. Promotion. The way that some rounds are promoted to get on the list. I know what happened last season with the one about clocks.
Don't bring up bit like that.
No. Does anyone have any idea which one I'm talking about?
Yeah, that was released.
Yeah.
No. That's not what I'm talking about. Last season in AJ's, there was a round that came at like number 31. We were all like, "What the fuck?"
That's release.
Release season 2.
Which one?
Release
season 2.
Oh, I thought you guys said Conception.
Cynical season 5.
I said Conception because somebody
like,
mentioned clocks.
Yes, Gus.
That's true.
All right, thank you. Yeah.
Bump
So I mean,
the Flowers,
promotion. I mean, like, yeah.
Oh yeah, we never talked about Bomb the Flower for surprises.
Good.
Yeah, no, I was hoping that one was just gonna go under the radar.
I don't know what you guys.
Hold on,
think
I
about,
was like, while Bomb the Flowers in the mouth of people, just want to tell you guys, please watch the Bomb the Flower montage. It is the single greatest montage you could ever watch in your life.
Except the Kratos one.
Actually.
That's true. Actually, all of the Kratos montages.
Especially Kratos 3.
Amen, brother.
So what are your guys' opinion on people promoting their own intros?
Don't do what Classification did, where they literally said, "Hey, vote for R3 intros," and then fill in the rest with random ones.
Classification gave an in-depth tutorial on how to make their intros number 1. They were like, here's the form. Now I want you to fill out the form and put these numbers at 1, 2, and 3, and then just fill the rest of the slots. And that was a real scummy move in my opinion, because that's not at all what the top 100 intros is for.
Yeah, it's like you win $1,000 or something, or some trophy if you'll get up there. If all you're doing is for recognition, then you shouldn't be doing that at all.
When I was watching the top 100, you know, in the back of my mind, I'm like, all right, let's hope that there's a couple agency intros on here. But if I cared more about hoping some of my personal work is up there versus my rounds work, if that makes sense.
No, definitely.
I think it was 1, 5, or 1, 6, and 7 of agency that got on there, and you know, there were all decent spots. You know, it's not like I think agency 6 and 7 were back to back. I'm pretty sure. But
they're like two.
No,
yeah,
they
got
were kind of.
74
Can I say about that?
76.
Agency 6 was 76, and Agency 7 was 74, and then Agency 1 was 32. Like that, I'm so happy with that because they're all good intros. But it's like the class intro, class 1's okay. Class 2 is very good, a very underrated intro. Class 3, we've said enough about that.
It should be left on the highway. Get it?
All right.
Anyways, no, to kind of go off what you said, it was like, for me personally, I was more proud of Bit 4 getting 16 than Bit 5 was getting number 7, because Bit 4 was something that I worked on, that was my creation, so I much would have preferred that to do better, just because that was something I worked on. So I'm okay with promotion when it comes to just wanting recognition for some hard work that you've put into something. So I don't see anything wrong with being like, hey, remember this thing exists or something, keep it in your mind or whatever when you're ranking your thing. Don't be like, hey, put this on your list.
For this intro now.
If you don't do this, I'm gonna be mad at you. It's like
it can easily come off as
that's
arrogant.
That's like people who threaten people with their round in a serious way, oh, if you don't leave this round, then you can't join mine.
Yeah, it's
people say that.
TGF.
Even if you do force somebody to do that, let's say you're talking to a friend, and you're like, hey, put this on the list. Wouldn't your spot on the list end up feeling more disingenuous than anything? Because it's oh, people didn't actually want it this high, so it doesn't feel deserved to be this high anyway.
The only way I could see promotion being a good thing is if you're promoting the Ambition 20 intro. Where was it?
Oh, shut the fuck up! Anyway, stop.
Is that for me?
There's one I want to talk about, that being Everest 4 getting number 67.
Oh yeah.
The hell is
I don't think Daft
It's the one that would
any of them promoted it. I just think it was Spanish community is oh, let's just all vote up this intro because
it was a good intro.
It was a good intro, yeah.
But I know there's a few people that probably didn't even know that Everest even existed, nor did it have a 4th season. I remember I made renders for season 3.
You know what, Lux?
And I had no idea when the world Daft was talking to me about. What do you want, Lego?
I'll be honest. I didn't know Instinct was around, nor that it had a 5th season when it showed up. I'll be honest.
I don't blame you. That was a year difference.
Yeah, a year? Jesus Christ!
I love the Rock Project.
I don't. That was a joke.
Also, to one thing I want to say that kind of especially annoyed me about the classification situation is after multiple people responded to the tweet saying, this is probably not something you should do. It feels really disingenuous. Someone on the account responded with, "Oops, sorry, we're not used to playing here over at the whatever their fucking science name is."
Yeah,
and it's that doesn't save anything whatsoever.
Hold on a minute. Wait, Tom. So they made the classification Twitter made a tweet about science stuff.
Well,
they have this storyline where it's something corporations is the one sending all the players on these experiments.
Imagine Recordaround's Twitter tweeting something stupid or something.
Imagine that.
No,
I've never seen that.
I can't think of another example.
Your favorite phobia
Agency Twitter is the best.
Yeah, earlier today I realized we haven't made a tweet from Phobia in a while, so I just tweeted, "What's been your favorite moment for a Phobia season? Tell us in 3 emojis or less."
What? Okay, what in the world is SIDS? I'm looking at it. I don't even know what that's supposed to be.
I don't even know what he's talking
My
about.
favorite,
He's doing
my
his own
favorite
thing
thing
there.
is back when the IPL Pokemon League Twitter was a thing. Ixo and I got in an argument on Twitter, and Evader logs onto the Twitter and messaged and replied to the tweet, "Wow, it looks like our coach is getting into more than just Pokemon battles." And I tried my damn hardest to get that account suspended. There wasn't enough evidence.
And can you check your Twitter notifications?
Yes, I can. All right. Anyway, I don't know. I guess it didn't. I don't really think it affected. Jesus Christ, I don't really think it affected too much. But
I
think it affected Jesus Christ a lot.
Add on that while there were things like that happened, that the community's thought process of all of the people who said those things got their intros boosted like crazy. Everest had 0 Spanish boost. I don't know what that was about at all.
Racist.
But the classification boost was also minimal, which feeds back into the whole needed more votes, stupid points system, yada 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 thing.
Numbers.
But if more people had voted, that wouldn't have happened either.
Interesting.
I did also have some other fun rounds try to do stuff like that in very rule-breaky ways that had votes deleted, but that's also besides the point.
I don't think they care because it doesn't really affect them really. But I do know that both Bona and Vinyl got messages from you, and they're like, "What happened?" Because like apparently someone had used their Reddit accounts to only vote for Magna Carta.
So I guess I'll briefly discuss that whole situation. I woke up one morning, this was like the third day of intro voting, right? I had like 10 votes total, and all of a sudden there are 5 votes in the box with the same intro at number 1 and then just random numbers behind it, and I went to check the intro. I was like, wow, it must be a really good intro.
It was Magna Carta.
So I messaged
and then you realize
the guy
that deserves to be number 1.
Well, and so I asked around, and I figured out that a few of them were alt accounts. So I, told them like, hey, you can't do that. Alt accounts aren't allowed. I've deleted the votes, just so you know. So the next day, I wake up and there's 5 more with no alt accounts, but by 5 names that, frankly, I haven't seen often. So I messaged them a little more angrily, which then led to that message by those 2 people. And I realized that their names were used not as themselves. And so those all went by.
Since it's unfair to represent them, I'm going to ask for Vinyl on a comment on this.
He's gonna say "shut the fuck up, libtard juge" or something along those lines.
I definitely got a message like that from one of them, so that's...
that was Vinyl.
that was probably Vinyl.
That was Vinyl.
That's okay.
God bless Vinyl.
All right, well, we're gonna move on from promotion.
No.
Yes. Let's go on to Best New RR. The categories are, or the nominees are, Astrology, Modified, The Divine Comedy, Tell the Tale, and Abstraction. This one means a lot to you two, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I'm really happy to see Modified up there.
Yeah, good one.
A couple of these, like, The Divine Comedy and Abstraction were both created within around a week of each other. Before I went off to university, I'm now in the middle of my second year of university. They both, like, TDC took a good 8-9 months to come out. Abstraction died and then came back and just managed to squeak in. I think so. It was just after the.
It was like a week after the awards, so we decided to put aside the rules of time and let Abstraction in there.
Yeah, but I think I was. No, it wasn't. That wasn't the same TDC. TDC did release. I remember TDC just being made in 2017, and it took so long.
TDC was made.
That's right. You know how I know TDC took so long? Because in the time that we recorded it, I was able to get Optifine on my computer.
That was a while.
Yeah, that's how long it took. But yes, all these rounds are very good.
Yeah, for the rest of these, I love Modified. Because I love Modified, I love the theme, and I love the roster, and I love what Vernon's doing with it.
It's something that's been talked about for a long time, but nobody had ever actually managed to sort of bring it to fruition.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm glad that some people finally have.
So yeah, modern RRs have been talked about for...
Oh, absolutely.
It's probably been a thing since 2013, 14.
Yeah, but the thing is, it worked. What mods did they use for the first season?
It was like Biomes of Plenty, Infernal Mobs, more furnaces. Basically, that was like the core ones.
I'll watch the Mo Creature season.
God, that would be
yes,
horrific.
those
or Mutant Zombie. All right. Tell the Tale.
Yeah, Tell the Tale is a fun concept. I'm curious to see how they do it in the future. But I like
also,
the theme of the round.
The most recent season just released the trailer and all that. Mm-hmm. Very, very well executed.
Yeah, Evan does a lot of great stuff with the presentation of that round.
Yes, Evan puts a lot of care into this round. So
it's one thing. I won't think this is kind of a bit more of a discussion thing. But one thing I think about Tell the Tale is it has an incredibly cohesive aesthetic. Like it consistently looks the same. It has this persistent look to it, which is nice.
So I have a groundbreaking question for you guys.
Right.
Tell the tale or story. Keep in mind, Frigid will be watching this.
Then tell the tale. If Frigid is watching it, tell the tale.
Yeah.
I think if Telltale can continue on its path and sort of grow how it looks to grow, then I think it could surpass Story. But I do love the Story Season 6 intro. That is one of my favorite intros of all time.
It is good, even though it does get very loud at the end.
It does.
Alright, so...
And Astrology.
Astrology, when the stuff came out for that, I'm not gonna lie, I was ready to just be kind of like, it's another RR, it's another Season 1, but it did surpass my expectations, and was enjoyable. The roster was fun. Theme was done well. It was just done a little better than I expected them. I'm glad they did well with it.
Whether there's a Season 2, though, because we're recording this before Season 1's come out.
Yes.
Season 2. And if I just get back to last year's awards really quickly, 2 of the best upcoming RR nominees are now dead.
Oh, which ones?
Lampoon and Chroma.
Oh god, those are the 2 good ones!
The only one left is Classification.
No! I think after we finish all these awards, we'll do a recap of last year's awards and see what's changed. I think that'll be fun.
That's a good idea,
yeah.
Only because I actually don't know most of them because I left halfway through because I had a headache that day. I remember that. Oh my god, that was a terrible day. I think that's when I started getting sick. Middle of the year, or not middle of the year.
Oh, yeah,
started that year.
I remember that.
All right. So the winner of Best New RR, Jamie and Dom are crossing their fingers, even though they already know who won. The Divine Comedy has won Best New RR.
Crossing our fingers
for 2018. This was one of the closer ones.
Yeah, it's pretty tight.
Really close.
There was a 3% difference between Divine Comedy and second place. So congrats, guys, again.
Thank you.
I will say this: I do appreciate being a part of this round, even though I did fuck up the first season.
You did make Season 1 half an hour late.
But then we got a couple more people.
Come on. You're saying you didn't want Tiago to play Season 1, Dom? Is that what you're telling me right now?
It did nearly miss it as well, but
thanks. All right.
If anything, I helped.
Maybe you helped things out a little bit. Maybe.
Anyway, moving on.
Congrats, guys. Very well deserved win. You had my vote.
How long
We're gonna go to the top 10. So the top 10 in order from 10 to 1. Number 10 was
Bump the
All-Stars
Flower.
4. Number 9 was All-Stars 3. 8 was TBA 2. 7 was Back in Time 5. 6 was New Dawn 13. 5 was Instinct 5. 4 was Risk and Reward 7. 3 was Chroma 3. 2 was Out of Orbit 7. Oh yeah. And 1 was Remarkable 2. Now, I have a question. We're going to go down. Lenboy.
Hello.
What are your thoughts on the top 10? Do you think it was accurate? Do you think there was a certain intro in the top 10 that you would move out of the top 10 and put something else in the top 10?
I already know this answer because the day
I've talked with Lux about this, where I don't think Instinct 5 is a top 10 intro. I would probably put it somewhere in my top 30, but I don't necessarily think it deserves to be that high, especially above things like Chunk Loader or WMC 20.
Bump the Flower.
Stop!
Yeah.
That's too far.
I think that was the biggest case of recency bias in this case. It was like it was kind of like it was the New Dawn 13 of this year. Lux, I love you, buddy, but I don't think it was that good.
I with you. It did not deserve number 5.
But besides that, I feel like the other ones were all deserving of top 10. But I think I would have reworked the order of them. I would have swapped out around the order in which they were ranked. And I'd say it's the same thing for actually just up to the top 15. I'd say like I would rework the order of that, and it would be good. But I think all of them deserve to be that high.
For Instinct.
Okay. Next.
I agree.
Mr. Sonic fan, what did you think of the top 10?
I agreed with a good hunky chunk of it.
Okay.
There were kind of like Glen, there were some that I might have like flip-flopped around. I really think I don't
Bump
know.
the Flower.
I've already promised I won't talk about Bump the Flower. It was wrong. Anyways, personally, no offense, Len, I did not think Back in Time 5 was a top 10 worthy.
Yeah, I was a little surprised by that too. If anything, I would have swapped Bit 4 and Bit 5's placings. That's just in my eyes, bias, I know.
5 is better than 4.
In my eyes, I would have swapped Frenzy 4 with the Remarkable 2.
But like, I'm looking at the list and there are rounds that are like I see Addiction 10, I see Chunk.
Addiction 10.
Addiction 10 is so good.
Chunk Loader Refraction, Ambition 19, stuff like that. Like those.
Refraction's not that good.
Oh!
Okay.
Bit 4.
Yeah, Bit 4 is okay.
Cynical fight.
Oh my god, Max just dropped a bomb.
I don't want to hear it. Not interested.
Okay.
Moving.
All right.
But like, so I agree with most of the list.
Max, dear God.
I'm not interested.
I personally think Remarkable 2 is still my favorite intro. Chroma 3 is probably my... Stop it! I will mention Bump the Flower! Don't make me mention Bump the Flower!
Keep going, please.
Remarkable 2 is definitely my favorite intro. I would have probably swapped Out of Orbit 7 with Chroma. I don't think RR 7's really worthy at the top 10 anymore.
Strong disagree.
Wait, you don't think what is in the deserving of the what?
RR 7. I think it's a great intro, but it's not in my top 10 personally. But you know, it's fine.
You, my friend,
All
are
right,
disgusting.
Are people okay if I block Gus out of the team speak?
No.
Like,
You can't do shit to me,
it.
little boy.
Maybe after the podcast, but Max 50. What did you think of the top 10, and what are your thoughts?
Yeah, I mean, it was pretty good for the most part. A lot of, if I did have to whip up a list, it would probably be pretty similar. As similar to what other people said, I would probably swap around a few, but definitely pretty much every intro in there was worthy of its placement to some degree. So I can't really complain. I think the only thing was, the only major thing was probably put Instinct a little lower and maybe moved up WMC 20. I would have put WMC 20 in my top 10.
Oh,
I thought that would have been top 10.
Strong agree, yeah. No, you can stay.
I also think All Stars 4 should have been higher in the top 10.
I think
higher than 3. I thought it should have been higher than 3.
Oh, it should have definitely been higher.
Also, Max, can you talk louder about what you were saying about not wanting to talk about it, please? I didn't hear all of that.
About what?
Well, you said something. Lenboy didn't hear it though.
I heard it.
I didn't hear it, and I'm kind of curious.
Listen, I don't want to, I don't want to start up any world wars here, but
Neither do I.
Buddy, just remember, I have a big old ban button over your name right now.
As far as
Anyways,
back in time and
I think At War 3 was personally robbed at the top.
All right, Dom.
What were you saying,
That's
Max?
me.
They can continue.
No, I want to hear what Max said.
No,
They
we're
can
moving on.
continue.
Lego.
I just love
Lenboy,
the
swear to God,
Ambition 20 intro.
I brought you into this podcast, and I will kick you out of it right now. Dominic, what did you think of the top 10?
I'm pretty pleased with it for the most part. There's stuff like, obviously, I think kind of Instinct probably should have been lower. It's one of those cases where I feel like I've seen what's happened. I'm not.
I saw it.
Gus?
I'm not
for
like.
those who cannot see it, Gus changed his name to Aaron with an H, like Gren.
It was my IGN once.
But yeah, I think I'm not mad. I think Instinct probably does deserve to be up there, but I probably would not have it that high. I'm not necessarily annoyed that it's that high. As for substitutes, I would personally probably drop. I'd probably drop All Stars 3 and Bit 5 out of the top 10 and maybe sub in WMC 20 and AP 10.
Mm-hmm.
I kind of feel like I feel like AP 10 has reached a point where people are just kind of like, it's not that good, and they've just and they've kind of overcompensated.
Yeah,
and it's gone lower than it should.
Yeah,
Like, you still have to admit, it's a good piece of work. Like,
it's a good intro, but it's a good intro, but it
have
reached
to
the point
think
where
about
it's consistently done well, and people are just kind of like, we don't want this anymore, and it's kind of then hurt from it.
Yeah, you have to think about it. If you look at AP10, if it was not an episodic thing, how high up would it be if it was only
not high? You're essentially removing the part that made it special. Like,
exactly.
right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, but like
that's like saying, oh, let's take out WMC 20, but Learning didn't make it, and instead Plushie 33 made it.
Okay, no, that's not
Plushie
even.
Not that. Just
It's like the same thing for episodic intro can be said for Out of Orbit 7. If you take away all the other episodes of Out of Orbit 7, it's still very good.
Yeah, Remarkable 3 is pretty good, but what if you just got name MC pictures and made them shake? How about that?
Hey! You just make Cell start spinning. He's doing like hundreds of backflips.
What if it was the Out of Orbit 7 intro, but it was just lightning every single time?
That would be number 1!
What if it was what if Remarkable 2 was exactly the same, but instead of the background, it was on a periodic table?
So good.
In the middle of the
Have any of you besides Sonic seen my Abstraction Season 1 intro or no?
Hello? You didn't upload?
No, I mean, the intro, not the round, idiot.
Oh, yeah, that one.
Yeah,
so you uploaded an intro, but you didn't upload the round.
So basically, we didn't have an intro maker for like a week and a half after like someone dropped down. Like, I got it, Sonic, and he didn't believe me. So I went to Google Slides, got a few of the renders, and added some fancy.
And then I made the intro.
Yeah, and then Sonic said, "Yeah, no, this is nonsense."
This is. I'm gonna keep it real, Chief. This ain't it.
All right, Joey.
Hello.
What did you think of the top 10?
Oh god, I feel like I'm gonna get hated on because my opinions on intros are so different.
Down time.
It's fine. It's fine. Legos
Joey,
here.
I love you still. We're all good.
Like, okay, I'm gonna get so much hate for this. I've never been a massive fan of TBA2.
I'm freaking with you, man.
Goodbye.
Okay,
I'm with you.
Okay. Like, no, like it's like everyone says it's this masterpiece, and I can kind of see it, but like it moves too fast for me, and I'm just not a massive fan of it. I've never really seen what's so masterpiece about it.
I can understand that, but I feel like that's one thing it does wrong among 10 things it does amazingly, and that's why I love it.
That makes sense. Also, let's see what else. Let's see what other things can I say that'll make people really pissed off.
Any hot takes?
Hot takes.
Oh
Joe.
god. I can kind of agree with like Instinct. I can kind of agree with Instinct 5 not like being in the position. I feel like it was really good for like the idea of it. So, but I feel like maybe top. I feel like maybe top 20 could be good for Instinct 5, but not. I don't think 5th place was the right place for it personally. Other than that, the only things I really just could say was I feel like New Dawn 13 was it's a good intro, but I just feel like it isn't my thing. I guess like it's very slow. That's
very different.
That's just not my thing. I guess
you don't like the slow intros and you don't like the fast intros.
Well, yeah.
What do you need a very medium paced intro.
Look, this is why I hate like talking about intros. I'm better at talking about like recorded rounds because like my opinions are so fucking weird.
But we like you so much.
I mean, that's all they are opinions. You've seen us almost cut each other's throats throughout this already, so I mean...
Okay. I can't, like, give it, like... fuck my life, dude.
Okay, Kurt.
Yeah.
Moving right on.
Okay, fuck it. I hate all 10 of them. Just fucking... They're all shit. Why Cynical 5? Just come on.
The 5 we're number 1.
Ladies and gentlemen! We got him!
Yeah, but Joey, I'll be honest, I kind of agree. I mean, I think TBA 2 should be top 10, but I think it's very overhyped, honestly.
I'm just saying story.
I feel like the same about New Dawn 14. I think it's quite overhyped, but that's just me. It's a good intro.
I think the thing I like most about TBA 2, just while we're talking about it for a second, is you can't say there's another intro like it, really.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah. That's true. I'll give you that. It's very original in that sense. I'll give it that.
Even since then, like, even people who have said that they've gotten inspiration from that intro, you've never looked at one and thought, man, that looks like TBA 2, so I mean...
Yeah, I mean, like, just adding on because...
I don't think
okay,
well,
I guess you were talking.
Yeah, okay, thank you.
The only one that's... Anyway,
Most improved recorded round. So this is going to be our that obviously have improved over the years. Over the year. So the nominees for this one are Quixotic, Rising Stars, Venus, Conviction, and Cinema.
Now,
right, I think we got a lot of bones to pick with this category.
I'm just noticing something. Did Venus start this year?
Yes, it did.
Yeah.
Oh shit!
But enough people said it.
Wait, that's so weird because I don't think Venus was nominated once for Best New R, but it was nominated a few times for Most Improved.
Mm-hmm. I think it's one of those things that people just think has been around for a long time.
Well, that's a good thing.
Mm-hmm. I'll say I'm gonna be full up front. I have some bones to pick with some of the nominees in this category.
What are your bones to pick, Dominic?
I think I'm not gonna bring that up. Don't worry. I have issues with some of the ones people have nominated here.
That didn't make it, or
no, like with the ones that ended up getting into the nomination list. I don't know how I feel about both Cinema and Rising Stars being a part of this category. Because
I can understand that.
It's not a case of improvement because Rising Stars 2 obviously was a hell of a lot better than Rising Stars 1, and Cinema definitely did a huge improvement over the last season before it died. But the circumstances in which they featured in 2018 doesn't feel like they really improved or like they are eligible for this. Because Rising Stars is like a one-time with a terrible season 1. You can't exactly say Rising Stars like it's weird to say that it improved over time because it's just one times.
Well, I think the debate for that is that Rising Stars, like you said, awful first season.
Oh yeah.
But the thing is, if it had just there clearly was a drive to make it better than the last one, and it clearly was. This was great. It was really good. And Cinema, you have to put it on because it was dead, and then Tiago has done a great job bringing it back with that player base and like revamping the roster and getting a bunch of the old players back as well. And as we saw for the most recent season 6, that intro was incredible, and that roster again is great. It's a great.
Just want to say again, this is not me saying that they're not most improved because they're bad, because their 2018 entries for both these rounds were both very good. It's just that in the case of some of the cases Rising Stars, in the case of Cinema, it's not really. I don't know if it's exactly improved, because improved in my head it's like improved would be if it's like someone goes, all right, our last season was good, we'll make it better. But it's like Tiago didn't improve the round; he just made the round how in his own way, which just so happened to be better than how Billy was doing it. If that makes sense.
Okay, that makes sense. I'll give you that. I do think that while you're right on Cinema, I do think you're not right on the Rising Stars thing. I think Rising Stars belongs in this category.
Okay.
Purely because they could have just stopped it right there, but Sonic clearly wanted to make it better.
That's fair enough.
I'll give it that. And then Venus, I like the concept. I think too the concept.
like Scroll Gamers. It's good. It's good to see a round like that, and it has done well over the period of 2018.
Yeah. So. Quixotic. I love the art in Quixotic.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And then Conviction.
Conviction. When Conviction first released, I don't know if season 1 was particularly that well received.
Hold on, Dom. I'll stop you right there. When Conviction 1 was released, you were furious.
I mean, I was furious.
I've never seen you so angry before.
They committed a crime.
I won't lie, I was livid. But
you were so mad because Stenstone showed up.
I was just completely I was just watching the season 1 trailer, and I saw the clip, and I was like, it looks an awful lot like one of Sten's kills in Ultra Cake Core. And I revisited it, and I was like, that is Sten's kill in Ultra Cake Core. What? How is Sten here? What happened? But yeah, season 1 I don't think was particularly well received, but over time they have improved with the concept, they've improved with all that kind of stuff, and it's now, and they have good seasons and all that.
Season 3 was decent.
Season 3 has I'm a huge fan of season 3's intro.
The concept in the roster is a lot more sort of cohesive than it was in season 1. A couple of gameplay problems which you won't really touch on because you can't.
Okay.
I'm just going to find my tongue a bit there.
All right, Jamie, would you like to?
So, the winner of Most Improved RR 2018. is Rising Stars. It was a close category. Close category.
This one wasn't as close as best new one, but
I mean, it is literally like what 1 or 2 votes less close.
Jamie. All right, congrats, Gus, and Rising Stars.
Oh my god!
Okay. Can I say something about Bomb the Flower?
Please don't!
No. Seriously, can I just say one thing about it?
Go for it.
Okay, right. I hated the intro that got put on there. I hated it. I didn't like it. But like, there was another intro. I think it was like season 2 or 3 that I actually really liked, and I was really sad wasn't in the top 100.
You cursed this podcast.
I haven't seen the other ones. So.
I don't know. There was like season 1 was not good.
I will
like
say,
it. But there was like
both of
I
them
think it was
were
like
very
season 2 or
close.
3 I actually quite liked.
Not good.
I don't know what the other ones look like. So
Let me try and find it. Maybe I'm gonna have a completely different opinion on it now.
Well, Joey's looking for it. Kirby, you made the list. What are your thoughts on the top 10?
I kind of agree with most people here on the list. I will also agree with Joey. I'm not a huge fan of TBA2. Like, I agree that the style and the editing's good, but once again, it's too fast, and I'm an old man and I'm blind, and so I need it to not be that fast. I will say that in terms of Instinct 5, I personally put it as the #1 intro. I really, really like the Instinct intro.
I just thought his mic light up because he's like creamed or something.
No, like, and here's why, and I'll stand by it. I do agree that maybe there was some recency bias, but one, the art that was done matched the background so well, and that's not something that you get to see a lot in
okay.
like
Glen,
that.
keep your mouth shut.
Two, I think it was really well done. There wasn't a lot of necessarily effects. There wasn't a ton of crazy editing, but I just felt like the vibe of the intro overall, the art that was made for it, and the back, like it flowed so well that I personally enjoyed it. And when I look at intros, other than is it an intro that I can read, being the #1 critique? The second one that I go with is this an intro that I would rewatch? Because you have to watch it 6 or 7 times over the course of that recorded round. So if I only want to watch it once, and I'm like, I'm over it, that's not a great intro. And I would watch the Instinct 5 intro over and over again. That said, the one intro I really wish would have been bumped up to the top 10 was WMC 20. I was really bummed that didn't quite make the cut.
I was surprised to see that was not in the top 10.
I do really think, Kirby, that you have a point when you say that it's very, very jarring if there's... You can have very well-made art, but then if you put it on a Minecraft background, usually doesn't work.
No,
or there's
that's
just not
exactly what I was
that good.
Say.
Yeah, there's just not a good transition, and it can easily ruin the art or take away from it. So I think, in general, it's very tricky to make that work well, but I do think that Instinct did that better than most do. If you're just putting art, just like literally unrecorded Minecraft footage, it usually doesn't work well, but I think it did pay off with that.
I think the reason I disagree with that is just because it was very jarring, the difference between the Minecraft background and the art itself. Just because it's 2 completely different styles. It's not when you're trying to do something like that, you kind of, for lack of a better term, need a sense of immersion. Like, you need to be able to see, like, oh, the art is a part of this thing or whatever. But partially just because the editing and the way Minecraft works, it doesn't really work or flow together. The tracking of the art itself, whenever I see it, I'm more just noticing that I don't really see it as one picture, but rather 2 different pictures that are moving at the same time.
See, but I like that style. Like, I'll argue against that. I agree with the point that it's very hard to do, but I just think Instinct did it very well. And in terms of the top 10 overall, I'm very satisfied with how the list came out. I'm surprised that Remarkable 2 ended up with almost 100 more points than second place. That kind of blew me away. And I would also say that I wish Risk and Reward had stayed in the top 3, because I also really liked that one. But WMC 20 was kind of the one that I was hoping would get the bump, get a stay back in the top 10, and then it didn't, and I was kind of disappointed in that one.
Yeah.
WMC other than that, very good. I am happy with how it turned out.
Okay, Xlux, you're up. What were your thoughts of the top 10?
I did like the top 10. Like, I agree with you guys at WNC 20. deserved to be up there. I was also not very happy that Instinct 5 got placed number 5th.
You're a liar.
No, I actually was not very happy about that.
I was there with him when he saw it for the first time. He was like, "This is bullshit."
Well, I got spoiled to it. Shout out to Major Wolf. He spams me over Discord, so I thought it was something important. He's like,
I remember that.
"Lux, congrats on getting number 5 for Instinct in the top 100," and we were on like number 30.
And then after that, he said, "Oh, spoilers, by the way."
And I just saw that and I was like, okay. And then I ended up seeing the rest of the top 10, like an intro that I made for being my third intro that I spent 3 days of just working on, because I already had this planned out for months and I just rolled with it.
Months.
Yeah, because I spent 3 months waiting for the art.
Oh, yeah.
And then who drew it?
Damn it.
All right.
I just don't think it's better than like All Stars 3 or 4 at all.
Well,
but I only agree that Out of Orbit 7 isn't the place that is, because still can do a backflip.
Thank you, still very cool.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the top 10 for me, I like most of it, but none of you have said the one thing that I'm thinking, and that really bothers me.
Yeah, that deserved to be number 1.
It really bothers me because now I don't want to be the only one that's saying this. Chroma 3? I didn't think it was amazing.
I'll be honest with you, I kind of agree, but like...
I agree to an extent, but at the same time...
When I first saw it...
To me, the only part where it's like, holy shit, is the beginning where it's like all like that background.
I'm gonna rewatch it real quick. Was it Chroma 3?
Chroma 3, I don't know. I mean,
Chroma
it's definitely good, but I would put WMC 20 and Chunkloader Redux over it, honestly.
I think it's because it was organized as official first intro.
I guess,
but I would have put pretty much any intro from the top 20 over it, if I'm going to be honest.
When I watch intros, I try to forget about like all the external factors and like just watch it like as an intro, like the product that it is, and like try to forget, like, oh, this is this person's first intro or whatever, because I think, people have amazing skill at many different times of their thing, of like their career and that kind of thing. So I think a lot of people don't put that aside when they look at things or like review them, vote on them, that kind of thing. I think the biggest factor when it comes to that especially is like, ooh, am I in this intro or not? Like, do I want to see myself like up there? And it's like, does it really matter? Judge it on the quality of what it actually is rather than like anything else, really, is what I just try to think of when I do that. That being said, I like Chroma 3 a lot, so I think I probably would have put it in my top 10, but I also have the same bias towards it that I have towards 8P10, because that's the kind of editing that I love to see in videos. Kind of that like quick but smooth, like different things are going wacky kind of shit, so that's my opinion on that.
So I just rewatched the Chroma 3 intro, and I immediately realized why I wasn't a fan of it.
Why?
The music. Like, the reason I don't like it is because... that part, that part really annoyed me. As soon as I heard that, I was like, it sounds like some like kind of small child like screaming or something. It really put me off.
Baby whiners.
The visuals. Now I will say the visuals are amazing. The visuals are great. I love the visuals, but the song just...
Hey, music's half the intro, and if you can't nail that, then you're missing out on 50%.
Why is the round called Chroma and color, and then the logo goes black and white?
Because it's losing.
Gray is not a color; it's a shade.
I will go with Max here and say the music is a big part of some intros to me. I know the music like doesn't like matter a lot to some people, but to me, I don't know. It just makes me want to like watch it again.
No,
I guess.
You have the music and the visuals. That's like
the music makes
it's 50-50.
The music can make or break pretty much any intro, and it definitely gives the vibe. Like look at one like Vanguard 4. Overall, not a super spectacular, like intro, but the music is just so freaking happy that I love that intro.
Vanguard 4 is one of the couple intros where people asked me how I did some editing effects, and it made me feel happy. The little shine effect, yeah. Eggs asked me how to do that.
Congrats, you won!
You're basically the top intro maker now.
I am like
You're
the
the first
Dibscraft of
person
intro
to have
making.
ever done anything ever.
It's like when Gus got credited in Clash 3 for adding text to 2 teams.
I added that text myself. I wasn't going home without a fight.
Well, I'll be the one to say it, because I know it's on everyone's mind. Freefall was robbed.
It was not on mine. It was only on
Jeez.
yours.
I think literally, yeah.
Yep.
I sound like
Alright.
a white girl right now.
All right, we're now entering the big three. These are the big three categories.
Yeah, the big boys.
All right,
Let's
so
start with the first big boy, which is the best RR trailer. Nominees for which are At War Season 7, Astrology Season 1, Back in Time Season 5, Evolution Season 16, and Tell the Tale Season 1.
all good trailers.
All very good.
I'm just going to
trailers.
preface this by saying I don't like RR trailers.
Boo.
I did enjoy Astrologies. I thought I can understand it for Season 1, and Astrology is just one I picked here.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was a good sort of setter-upper. Because how would I describe this? If they just thrown the intro out onto the subreddit, it would have just been like, oh look, and it's another Season 1, blah 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 blah. And Telltale did this as well. They put out a trailer first, and it almost brings a sense of like, hey, we actually do care about this round. Look at this extra effort we've put in to try and make this round good. Please give it a shot. So I give Astrology and T2T bonus points for that in the Season 1 rankings. Yeah, not a big fan of RR trailers in general.
That's fair.
The Back in Time Season 5 trailer was very good, as are most of Len's trailers.
Yeah, he's got a good knack for them.
Knack, good one.
Knack 2,
Back
baby.
2, baby.
Knack 2. Alright, let's get back on topic. Evolution Season 16 was another good trailer by Cold.
That one looked nice.
It looked
Okay,
nice,
okay,
and also it had people guessing at who the newcomers were.
It did. I was one of them. Hi.
It was Sir. I teamed with Sir.
You did.
Who did you
At
team with,
War
Jamie?
Seasons, I was with Cold Bacon.
Tom, who were you with?
I was with Len.
Okay, alright. So yeah.
And At War Season 7. Again, I can understand
Yes, that was
like
a good because it was
final
a final
seasons.
Yeah, final season trailer. That was pretty good.
Also, thank you for saying thank you for mentioning the thing about guessing newcomers. Reminded me, I got to do a TDC post today. Thank you. I forgot. Yeah, nearly forgot yesterday. So
Man,
Damn
let's
it, we
play
shouldn't have
guess. Let's
reminded
play
you.
guess the TDC team when Dom does the tweet.
Ooh.
Anyway,
Yeah,
I can just spoil the team if you want.
please don't. Okay, so best RR trailer. The award goes to Back in Time Season 5. Takes the award.
it's a good winner.
A great winner.
I would agree with that.
Great job, Len. All right. Second big boy category. We have best intro of 2018. A lot of good nominees for this one. We only picked the top 5, but there were a lot of good nominees for this one. And I'll get to some of the nominees that weren't in the top 5 right now, just so I don't want to leave these people out because, again, this is a great season. Or not a great season, a great year for intros. This is a great year for intros, I would say.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Let me pull this up real quick, and then I'll get into some of the ones that weren't nominated, or that weren't in the top 5. Let's see. Instinct 5, very good intro. It placed in the top 10 in the God, I can't talk. In the top intros.
Mm-hmm.
Phobia Season 13 was another really good one. Survivor Season 2. Rising Stars 2 was a pretty good one this year. Yeah, so those are just the ones that come to mind right now. I don't know if you guys have any. I don't know if you guys have other ones that you guys can think of.
I think that's
Yeah.
That's all of them. I'll double check the nominees sheet, see if there's anything
Jamie's
left
that.
out.
The nominees for Best RR Intro are Around the World Season 1 by Mr. Craftinator, Art by Kajaki, Vision Season 8 by Daffs, Abstraction Season 3 by XLux, Art by an Uncreative Cat, Back in Time Season 5 by Shut Up Rick, Art by Sleeping, and Kata 11 by Mr. Sonic Fan.
All really good intros. All really good. I'm always a big fan of Vision intros. Daffs is really
Daffs has been very good with Vision. Oh, also another intro, World Cup. That was a good
the
one.
World Cup intro was really good. Well, yeah.
Yes, that was good. Even though I've been snubbed from playing for Israel twice.
You're not Israeli.
Who else are you gonna pick for that?
Frozen Benny.
He didn't play this season. They could have gotten me. The community would lose their minds if they saw me play for Israel.
When you play for Israel, I play for Turkey. How about that?
I would speak in Hebrew the entire. All right, whatever. We're not talking about this right now. I'm so angry.
As for the other ones here, Lux this year has established himself as a really talented intro maker.
Yes.
Like, he's done a really fantastic job because he really only started doing intros this year, if I remember correctly.
I think Instinct 5 was his first big one.
And he really established himself by making a lot of really quality intros this year. Abstraction 3 is a very good nominee for the awards. The other three are by three kind of very popular intro makers, and all just did fantastic jobs with what they've done. Because Kraft kind of returned from a long break.
Yeah, he made Addiction as well, I believe.
Yeah, he returned from a long break, and came back in terms of intros with Around the World intro, which was really good.
Didn't he do Abstraction 2 as well?
No, he did Agency 9 or 8.
Yeah.
I should say.
I was going to say he definitely did He definitely did another intro.
Yeah, he did a few.
And Golden Globe.
He did Golden Globe as well. Yeah, he did
Golden Globe was pretty good.
And Instinct Season 6. What?
Alright, okay, Jesus Christ, Kraft, calm down.
And Skylord's personal UHC highlights introduction.
Oh my god!
I will say, Around the World. So Around the World, Back in Time, and Abstraction all had great art to go along with them.
That's it. That's the only comment.
That's the only comment I can make for that. Art sometimes makes intros very good.
Mm-hmm.
So,
but I feel like Vision, this is gonna sound super cocky and stuff, but Vision has the best use of renders. I think it's the Season 3 one is another one I rank super highly on my all-time list.
Vision 3?
Vision 3, the one where they had 4 or 5 renders per person. And they were sort of animated in the intro.
Yes, that was 3, I believe. Oh no, that was 4, I think. Wait, I actually don't know.
That was Vision 3, because 4 was the FFA.
Yes, that was very good. Yeah, Daffs has been so good with intros, and the people who make renders for them as well have all been so good.
Mm-hmm.
He's very good at what he does. Thank you, Daffs. So, with that out of the way, Dom, do you have anything else to add before I announce the ultimate winner?
No, I think said all I want to say.
You said this was the closest category.
Yes, the winner only won by what 1.6%.
Yeah, unbelievably close.
Yes. So the winner for Best RR Intro of 2018 is Abstraction Season 3 by XLux, art by an Uncreative Cat. Excellent work this year. And to second place, I'm sorry. That's a harsh blow.
Second place was bit 5. There's another.
What are you doing? What are you?
There's another strong one.
Yeah, it
I
was
would
a
put
good
Big 5 over Abstraction personally, but that's just me.
Yeah. All right. Well,
I think a lot of these could have ranked better than others. But
it depends on the vote pool.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so congrats to Lux on.
It's deserved.
All right. So Jamie, you have the last category. So we have enough time, so we're gonna go down the team speak, and we're gonna talk about everyone's favorite intro of all time. You better have been thinking, Lenboy, you're first.
My number one favorite intro of all time Yeah?
Yeah.
You done?
Nope.
Nope.
Alright.
Lux, I see you trying to change your name so you get to the bottom of the list. Nice try.
I'm on the top. What are you talking about?
My favorite intro of all time is Remarkable 2, so I was very happy to see that one got number 1. And the reason for that is because I think it does everything perfectly. In the sense that it's a fun, happy intro. You know, like when Kirby mentioned that you want to watch the intro every time you watch the episode. That is one of those intros I will never get tired of watching. It did something very unique and creative with the whole layout and concept of it, which it actually took from the music video that the song comes from. The animation was great. The song itself was great. We were talking about the song being a great part of it, and I just didn't really see anything that it did wrong. I thought it was a very clever idea to have the animations transition between each of the teams. So yeah,
okay.
That's my stance.
Kazmik!
That's me, __C.
You're up.
My favorite intro of all time has to be Karma Season 1.
You're joking. Stop right now.
But like a genuine answer, probably be really lazy and shit and say Remarkable 2. That probably is my genuine favorite. Because, well, I mean, I put it number 1 on my list and I do enjoy how it does.
Alright, Kirby? Kirby?
I'm on the bottom of the list, friends.
Oh my god.
Wait, what? Wait. Joey!
Right, okay, just to fill in the audience, there's been a bit of TeamSpeak fuckery. Joey is now called Kirby. Kirby is now called the Sonic Joey. Sonic's called I Wasn't Paying Attention after cycling through all the letters of the alphabet. Okay, now he's DKP. and I'm underscore a bunch of underscores and C.
Max is still Max, and now Lux is Max too.
Alright, Sonic. Alright, fine. Sonic, you're up. What's your favorite intro?
That's Jar of Cats to you.
Alright, Jar of Cats. What's your favorite intro?
Honestly, I don't have a tippy-top favorite intro.
Yes, you do.
You're not playing the game right, Sonic.
Damn it!
Okay. Unknown 3.
Unknown 3.
Nope. I want a real
Pump the
answer.
flower.
I want a real answer.
Ambition 20.
No, Sonic, I will...
Okay, most of the top 10 are my favorite intros, like Remarkable 2, Chroma 3, All-Stars 4, but also, as I said earlier, I just love Hilton Quiver 9. I don't know what it is, I just fucking love that intro so much.
Baby.
Alright.
Don't speak the Jar of Cats like that.
While I mention All-Stars 4, this is something I wanted to mention.
No.
Can I just say, I think my favorite effect in any intro ever was doing the drawing of the logos for each of the teams.
Yeah.
That was just such a dope effect.
Very well done.
Alright.
I audibly moaned when I first saw that.
Really?
You're up, Joey.
Perhaps.
Oh, yeah, okay. So, I feel like one of my favorite intros is actually, I think it's actually All-Stars 3. I don't know why, but like when I first saw it, it just had this like really feel of like epicness to it, and I just really liked it. I was a massive fan of All-Stars 3 when I first saw it. I was like, this is one of my favorite intros. I feel like this is an unpopular opinion because I know a lot of people don't really like the how the art is like cut off at the bottom, but I always enjoyed Conception 4 as well.
I win!
That was always
like
that one.
Yeah, like Sonic. I've always said that was my favorite intro from you personally. Like I mean, I don't know, it might be a really unpopular opinion, but I always liked it. Another one I also enjoy, which I feel like I don't know if you guys talked about this before I came in, but Jake's Survivor UHC intro was amazing.
Yeah, that's a very good one.
I feel like those three of them, or I like some of like the ones that haven't been mentioned too much in this podcast I'll talk about. There's also a few others like obviously RNR 7 that are very good, and WMC 20 and some other stuff. WMC 13 as well, very good, and AB 10 of course.
All right.
Sorry, you told me to say my favorite, and I said like 7. So
X-Lux.
Yeah.
This is kind of an odd one, but Back in Time Season 3.
Back in Time Season. Can you not? Yeah. You're gonna get a.
No!
Can you lie or something?
Oh no! There we go.
Yeah.
The TC channel explodes.
Very glad I didn't create the big freak out of the.
I just liked your reaction, Aaron. Was can you not?
I mean, it's a good intro, I guess.
Wow. That's the reason I like it. I've always liked the background to it. like the little hints to it, like the Leaf Life throwing his poison pots where he poisoned himself during the season.
I am proud of my that may not be my favorite intro, but I'm proud of the ingenuity that I did for that season.
I love the art. It's probably my favorite art of
ever.
A lot of record rounds. The animations.
Kari.
Thank you, Mona Lisa.
All right.
I also just really like the song.
Hey guys!
Oh, fun fact! I stole that intro song from when Brick said he was going to make the AP11 intro.
911.
I remember I spent like a week trying to find a song for that intro, and it was really getting to me. And then I remembered in the AP chat, Brick linked that one, and then the AP died. So I was like, yeah, sure, I'll take that one. Fuck it. Anyways.
Hey, Max 50, you're up.
Hey.
Max, I'm dying to know. What's your favorite intro of all time?
Well, thank you for asking.
You have 10 seconds.
Probably, if I had to pick, if I was a picking man, I would say Out of Orbit 5. But it's important to note that Story 6 and Restriction 4 are very close in contest because I love
Restriction 4.
I love him.
Yeah,
dude. I think he's.
I thought Restriction 4 was the bad one.
No. I love Story 6 and Restriction 4 so much, but Out of Orbit 5 slightly trumps those two. So that's my number one. But that's a close 2 and 3. And they all kind of deliver a similar style, but I think they're all incredibly creative and delivered by very talented people who excel at their work. So that's why they're up there for me. Thank you.
Thanks, Max.
No problem.
All right, Kirby, you're up.
If I had to go with like, oh geez, okay, I would put my number one just as a really boring and kind of standard Risk and Reward 7. I just genuinely enjoy that intro. But if I wanted to get out there a little bit, Mezet 5 is actually low-key one of my favorite intros ever made. Yeah. No discussion. All right. And the other one that I'm surprised we haven't talked about at all was Ameliorate 2, which I definitely thought deserved to be higher than 35th. So definitely would put that in my top 3. Also, shout out to Daffs for Fission 3 because that's also good.
All right, it's now my turn.
Oh, good.
For the longest
time, we're done here. Podcast over.
My favorite intro of all time was Hilt and Quivers Season 1. Nothing could top it. It had original music by
Not even Ambition 20?
I said for the long. I haven't gotten to my newest one yet.
He's not done yet. Let him speak.
God damn it. You have 10 seconds.
Hilt and Quivers 1 was so good because it was original music and it was at the time that was like, what the fuck? And then Flouze showed up and did his thing. But right now, Addiction 10 has taken it over. Addiction 10 is my favorite intro.
Addiction 10.
You like the Addiction 10? No, Addiction 10's the hot one. The one that Smoove Maneuver was in.
Yes, that's why I like it so much.
One of Shibby's... was it Shibby intro, right?
Yes.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah, one of his,
I thought it was a Gwep intro for a long time, I'm not gonna lie. For some reason, I thought I saw somewhere that Gwep made that intro, and I was like, oh man, that's really good.
He's a genius.
Fun fact, I actually made the Remarkable 2 intro.
Oh my god. And if not for Addiction 10, it'd be Vanguard 4.
Really?
Yeah, I love that one.
That's also a personal favorite, but not my number one.
I like the song for Vanguard 4 a lot.
Yeah, the song really gets me, and the art's also good.
Gets me.
All right,
it really gets me.
Well, you've heard all our favorite intros, and viewers, remember,
me so much.
If you want to be on another episode of the podcast, or not another, if you want to be on a episode of the podcast as a special guest, please message me or Kazmik on Twitter or on Discord.
Or Bad Fan.
Nope, not Bad Fan. He left early.
Oh, dog.
All right,
you can also message
Kirby. Thank you for making the video. It was excellent this year.
Yeah, no problemo.
And if
wait, just a little comment. I like the transitions for each of the
numbers. Thank you. There's also okay. I know we're ending the podcast.
Right. That's topic
I'm gonna give that
8,
in
the
10 seconds. So basically, what happened there is once Big and Crafty died, I was like, I still want to make another intro. So I made those transitions in the attempt to make just a fun practice intro. I made extra renders and did a bunch of stuff. And then I was like, oh, wait, life. And then I didn't.
Damn it.
And then I was like, oh, wait, I can use those in the top 100. So that is why I finally used them after like a year and a half. Go team.
Yeah, they were hot shit.
Thank you.
I mean, like shit in the good way.
They took a very long time to make.
So Jamie, you have the last category.
Okay, the final one, best RR season. So So, how many RR seasons were played in 2018? I think it was something like 100.
I'm pretty sure it was 100 on the dot.
100 on the dot.
That's funny.
It's been narrowed down to the top 5. This is another quite broad category. There are lots of different nominees for it.
Now, before we get into like the nominees, for best RR seasons, since there were so many that were nominated, we just chose ones of the top 5 votes. We did not choose based on preference for this one. It's very hard, especially when rounds get so like if one gets 6 votes and one gets 5, and we choose one to 6. It's very hard because we don't want to show bias in these picks.
The nominees are Abstraction Season 3, the winner of Best Intro, Desire Season 9, Rising Stars Season 2, Ambition Season 21, and Modified Season 1. So,
I'm very happy with the ones that.
I think if you had to pick 5 off the top of your head, those would probably be the 5 that showed up most. Other RRs that were nominated that didn't quite make the cut include Winter Wonderland and Kata 11. Those were two more very popular rounds this year.
Okay, so here's how I see it. Rising Star Season 2 was a great season, great ending. Abstraction 3 was very good as well. A lot of people got kills that would be like surprising. Like I think only like 4 people got more than 1 kill. Which is really cool for a round like that. Desire 9, Desire's usually putting out some pretty good seasons. Desire 9 was an underrated season. I'm glad it got nominated. Ambition Season 21 was a great return from the disaster that was Season 20. And
strong return to form.
And the newcomers were all great as well. So, and the season itself was very fun to watch from an inside perspective too. I think I watched the most perspectives in that round.
And Modified, which
I thought it was done there.
No.
Yeah, Modified was also very good.
Modified was a good watch. Great ending. Could have been slightly better if I knew how to aim.
Modified was, I think, for the most part, just like pretty good. But that ending, thanks to you, Jamie, made it just like really, really good.
You're welcome.
The absolute monstrosity of it all.
Okay, so with that, I think all discussion's over for that one. So the winner of Best RR Season of 2018 is Rising Stars Season 2. I think that's fair. That's deserved.
I think that's fair. It was very good. So congratulations again, Sonic, or Gus. Sorry.
Oh, Gus.
So before we end off this podcast, because this felt a lot shorter than usual, we're gonna talk about a little stuff about.
There'll be the bits to the top 100.
Yeah, we'll slide the bits in.
Oh right, that as well. But I also want to go back to the awards from last year, and I want to see if. So, do you remember any of the winners, Dom?
I have the thing up right now.
Okay, so
use Jamie to.
Okay, so Jamie, let's make it like a game show, Jamie. Let's see if we can see if Dom and I can guess.
Best new RR, Lampoon, Chroma, and Classification.
Lampoon won.
Lampoon won that. Lampoon. I remember winning that.
Didn't Classification come 3rd as well? But it's the only one left alive now.
Yes, there's no way Chroma or it lost to Chroma or it beat Chroma.
Yeah, it was. Wasn't a good batch of best new RRs for that year.
Yeah, 2017 wasn't a great year.
I have that RR timeline thing I made ages ago. Let me go check like all of the rounds that like released that came out.
All right, Jamie, what's
we'll move on. Best intro. Best intro. There was New Dawn 13, which was the art one by Cryptic. That was very, very good. The Chroma Season 3, which is my favorite intro that like I've been in ever. And Back in Time Season 4.
Didn't New Dawn win that one?
Yes, New Dawn did win that one. It won the top 100 that year as well.
Yeah, very deserved win.
Best individual season of an RR.
What?
Is so it's like what was the best season?
Oh, okay.
So, I was just reading it off the description. So is it Back in Time Season 4, Cataclysm Season 8, or Stranded?
Stranded won that.
Let me scroll along to find the winner bit. That's a karma counter, not.
Oh my god.
He said it.
Jamie.
I'm just trying to find it. I think it's stranded. I can't find the actual.
Alright, let's just say I'm right.
Actual winner bit here. The stranded intro is playing in the background. Yes, it was stranded. There we go. Okay, best one-time RR.
What one time for last year?
UHC World Cup.
Okay, well that wasn't a one time. We found out.
Cheaper by the dozen.
Oh my.
And stranded.
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 Stranded with like 4 awards.
Yeah, I stranded sweet a little bit. Anyway.
All right, what's next?
Next, best RR kill. We have Lenboy killing Gwet in bit 4.
Okay.
Dibs killing Shadow Lego in WMC 22, and Miles One Baseball's double kill on Bitexel and King.
Damn, that was last year, and it definitely won.
Didn't Dibs win that category?
2017. No, Miles One Baseball.
Okay, I remember. I think a lot of us on the podcast had a bit of a problem with that Dibs one.
It shouldn't have been nominated, but that's that's a thing for another time. Anyway,
all right, what's next?
Best RR death. This is a category that didn't make its way back into the
and I'm kind of glad it didn't. I'll be honest. Because I don't know.
It's like
I don't want to know.
Swam in lava trying to escape skeleton.
Damn, it was this year! Oh my god!
Anyway,
right.
What about Jamie and Silver slain by Zombie Pigman? Anyway, so there was Joey's lava death in TTE 15 after he was just running in the fortress and Leon, his teammate, rodded him off.
That was good.
That was funny.
It was. Venny dying to fire in Aquaphobia.
That's good.
And then Daryl in R&R Season 13.
Oh my god.
That better have won.
It did win. Daryl was the winner of that one.
Thank god. That was such a funny death. That was so good.
All right, what's next?
I just remembered a death of mine from 2017 that was really good.
Which one?
Casmic died.
Oh yeah, was that Satamina 7? You literally just died?
Yeah, I died. I didn't have a death message. I just died.
How did you die?
Died.
No, I don't know. Something to do with Ender Pearls, I think, but it just said I died.
Casmic died.
Yeah,
that's good.
Weird.
Anyway, best trailer. Nuzlocke Season 7, Bit 4, and Split 8.
Didn't Split win that?
I'm about to find out.
I think Split won, if I remember correctly.
Yeah,
Split did win.
Yeah, that's right. Split beat out both of Len's trailers. Yeah, Split. Yeah, I mean that was an excellent trailer, though.
Best RR game mode. There was Ditto from Nuzlocke Season 7, and then Xenophobia and Aquaphobia from Phobia's Season 9 and 11, respectively. I didn't think that through.
Yeah, you probably should have in the other order. I think pretty sure one of the Phobia ones won. Confident one of the Phobia ones won.
I'm with him.
Yeah, which Phobia one?
I'm gonna say Aquaphobia.
I'm gonna go.
No, Xenophobia.
I'm gonna go with Aquaphobia, I think.
It's Xenophobia.
Yeah, up yours, Dom.
Xenophobia was in it. Best RR artist of RRR. Best RR artist is Zev for New Dawn, Kieran for Vanguard, and Danny for Inception.
Wasn't it Zev?
I think Zev won.
Yes, Zev did win.
Yeah.
Yes.
Rather than have like anything in the background, whoever edited this just threw some confetti onto the screen.
Sid edited that. Sid edited that podcast.
Did he?
Yeah, he did. Yeah.
That's nice. Anyway, best RR perspective. We have Rawkey in Evo 13, as previously talked about. Sid in Desire 7, and Frost Breath in Stranded.
Frost won, didn't he? Frost definitely won.
Probably. Yes, Frost Breath and Stranded.
Yeah.
I think that was fair.
Yeah, Stranded definitely did very well that year.
And wait, did it win? I think it won everything it was nominated in.
Damn.
It was nominated for 1, 2, 3 awards, and it won all 3 of them. Anyway.
Damn.
And last one was Best Newcomer of 2017, which is between Stenstone for Pathfinder, Dango for Ambition, and Amactus for Desire.
Wait, I actually have no idea.
I think it might be a Mactus.
I think a Mactus. Jamie?
Yeah.
Come on.
God damn it, Sid, why didn't you make this easy? It was Dango.
What? Oh my god, what?
Dango and Ambitions.
Dango is easily the worst nomination out of that selection. What?
Hey, whoa, Tom.
I'm saying that because it's like best newcomer. It's like Dango like fits an ambition. Like, and he like, it's just. It's not really that of a weird one. It's not really that much of an interesting one. The other two are way more interesting.
Can I just point out that was the first podcast of 2018?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and what is this one? The second podcast of 2018?
This is 2019, first of all.
Oh, well, shut up.
We had there were two podcasts. I was on the last one, actually.
What was the last one? The big one?
I guessed it on Bit.
Yeah, we did a real good job with podcasts last year, didn't we?
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you.
We released like 15 in 2017.
15 the first year, 2 last year, and now 1 this year. We can finally use the art that was it Danny made.
Yeah, I'll have to message Danny about that. Get that art.
We might need new art after we get our new guy though.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, and then I think we'll try and keep it there for a while.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, thank you guys for watching the award show. Stick with us. We're coming back. This is gonna happen.
We swear, honestly.
Yeah, we're gonna have a new guy, a new member with us. We still need to have a little bit of discussion, but I think we're all in agreement on who we want right now. Unless we can think of someone outside of the people that we list. But as of right now, so yeah, hopefully Dom will get this out. What, tomorrow, Dom?
I think it's going to be sometime by the end of January.
Yeah. I hope this will be out before January. I don't know why we're saying this, because you're going to watch this in March and be like, wow, this is going to come out in January.
I mean, to be fair, I actually have quite a few rounds to edit, so
yeah,
it's going to be at best late January, at worst early mid-February.
At worst, April.
You'll see this before the next episode of the podcast.
Yeah, at worst, not released, and we just never come out again.
Yeah, the podcast officially.
But thank you for sticking with us. We are going to, if you guys have ideas for people who you want to see on the podcast, because I think what we're doing is just 1 or 2 guests from now on. We already have a list of a few people. The first one is going to surprise a bunch of you, because it surprised me when it was even brought up. But yeah, so I hope you guys are excited, and thank you guys for watching. Bye. See ya. All right. Well, anyway, guys, thanks for coming out, guys. I know it was pretty last minute.
I already did that.
I appreciate it.
Thanks, Lego.
And thanks, Dom. And Dom and I. So this is going to come out what, in a year or
tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds all right.
All right.
Roughly.
It's gonna be a 3-hour podcast of just RR roundup.
Again, 4 renders throughout the entire time we did this, and I'm highly disappointed.
Again, sorry that Jamie couldn't make it, but we also.
Sorry guys.
Which Jamie? Jamie the Elite?
No,
from Pathfinder?
go fuck yourself.
What? He just never played.
Wow, that's aggressive.
The joke.
Well, all right. Thanks for watching, guys.
Yeah, thank you, Lego.
Thank
Watch
you.
ATL season 3 on the subreddit.
No, please.
I was muted, but I'm here to say bye.
Bye, Joey.
Bye, Joey. You're beautiful.
Goodbye,
Thank
Joey.
you.
Bye, Joey.
Thank you. I mean, let's be real, guys. Where was Cynical 5?
You missed this. I literally, I have like a bunch of stuff typed out about it. Oh my god, I was so happy.
It was awful.
Whatever.
You see, this is what I get for being late to the podcast. I missed
Didn't
everything.
you started off with like, this is a victory for the subreddit or something?
Yes, that's exactly how we.
Can you just like edit in my comment like right before Lego started talking about it to make it seem like I was there? Just.
There was a pretty big omission that I saw. There was a.
All right, you're gonna start. You're gonna start your bit now.
Is this pretty save it from later?
That I was pretty surprised about, yet pretty happy about. The people have spoken.
Oh, here we go.
Okay. Oh boy, here we
At
go.
Cynical 5 is not
Whatever.
This is groundbreaking.
I see your point, Lego, but I think Cynical 5 was the best intro of all time.
All I'm saying is I won't take it.
I was watching, and we got to like